Excellent.
Yes, excellent.
Huzzah!
Hot diggity dog. As I switch my mouse to the other laptop. There we go. I don't even have any music playing. What am I doing? Wait a second. What did I just switch? Hang on. Did I switch something I wasn't supposed to? Hold on.
Your voice got a little bit louder
Did it?
for a second.
Huh. Weird. Okay, well, I'm not gonna futz around with that. Oh, come on, weird. Sorry, hang on. I need to actually double check which one is the mouse. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's this one. Ouch! Ow! Sorry. Yeah. All these cables. My apologies. There we go. Can you still hear me? Am I
You
going in
okay?
okay?
Hurting yourself?
No,
Yes.
I'm just navigating the mess that is apparently my cables. My cable management is awful, apparently. I apologize. Okay, alright. Yeah, okay, yes, self-harm is never the answer. Yes, thank you, Skanuk Ratbiter. I am fully aware of that. I appreciate you a lot. Alright.
And we appreciate you.
Aw, thank you. In any case, it is time to begin. Last time, for our kobold crew, you were under assignment from Torga to retrieve a priceless bottle of rum, which was assumedly in an abandoned pirate ship trapped in the ice along the sea. You all set out to find this pirate ship and claim this bounty and any other treasure you might come to possess. On the way, you fought a duo of terrifying yetis, which surprised you during a blizzard. The beginning was rough. You managed to subdue them as you took a short rest and made your way forward. You were attacked yet again by a mated pair of peritons, hoping to claim your hearts for their own. To which you slew one, and the other escaped, seemingly to not bother you again. After you made your way forward to the sea of moving ice, eventually you spotted your quarry. A ship called the Dark Duchess, made of dark, beautiful wood, with tattered sails, a mere shattered image of its former glory. As you approached the ship, you heard banging and roaring from the inside. Upon further investigation, you determined it to be a frost troll, which upon you all getting onto the deck of the ship, it promptly came out from the hole in the hold and attacked you. Another battle commenced, to which you were victorious. You investigated the hold and found what the troll was after. A pair, or rather a small group of Icewind Dale kobolds were hiding from the troll. On questioning these kobolds, you determined that this ship was actually the temporary lair of the legendary white dragon, Arvea Chirace, to which you had hoped to either gain some favor or find a way to, I suppose, appease the dragon in some way, or rather make it out with your lives, if I'm correct. Or was there something I had forgotten there?
Really?
No? Okay, I was pretty correct. Just making sure I hadn't forgotten.
Yeah, we just wanted to live.
Yeah, you just smartly. You had just wanted to live, and you didn't want any trouble. All you wanted was the rum to take back to Torga. No huss, no fuss. After some
I
convincing,
am amazed we got away with it.
you, you should be amazed, as in fact, after some haggling, you did manage to procure that rum, but not before the legendary white worm herself made an appearance. To which, thankfully, due to some very clever and very lucky maneuvering on some of your parts, the dragon did not devour you, but instead was convinced through her frostbittenly and very, very dead companion, Melthorond. Savage, through the power of the newly attuned Psi Crystal, managed to telepathically convince our Veatures that these kobolds were of no harm, just to let them pass unmolested. And thankfully, she lets you go, but at any point, she might change her mind. So best to remember that. But as it stands, and through your convincing, for right now, she is assured that you do not, or are not, allied with the Frostmaiden, which is very good for you. And so,
Praise Eldath.
indeed, praise Eldath. And as you all head out from the ship, adrenaline pumping from the near death encounter from an ancient white dragon, which you all know as kobolds to be a being of immense power. You are getting out of Dodge on the sleds. So, as you all are doing so, it does, because of the time that you had spent in the ship, let's see, after around 4 or so hours, it does actually get to be nighttime again. So you would actually need to find a place to camp and get some sleep. So I would ask you, how would you like to go about this?
I liked our half tent, half overturned boat situation we had last time.
Yeah. But I was
Right.
thinking that we could do that, but we could also pile some snow on it, just like a light coating to sort of camouflage us a bit more.
Like a semi-igloo.
Kinda. Yeah. Make us sneaky, like we should be.
Hmm. Very good, very good. Very well, I will allow you to do this, and you do so without too much effort, as you had done so before. So, I will ask you, in which order are you taking watches?
I'll go ahead and take first watch.
I was thinking maybe I could take first watch so I can get my spell slots and stuff back sooner.
Is that how that works?
I don't know
Not.
if we finish the short long rest earlier,
Um,
because I'm not getting the rest then.
it doesn't quite work that way per se. You kind of like all finish the rest at the same time, no matter how the
Right.
watch kind of goes. But nice try.
Well,
Well,
I could
that
take
being,
Oh, Caleb, go ahead and talk first.
so that being the case, I'll go ahead and stand by my previous statement of I'll take first watch.
Okay, and then what were you gonna say, Skanak?
I can take any watch, I guess. Got some carving to do,
Very
but
well.
you know,
In that case, Savage, and then Meepo, and then perhaps Hawks or Skanak,
Yeah,
depending.
Hawks will take the third.
Very well. In that case, Savage, since you are first watch, and as everyone else kind of falls asleep, go ahead and give me a perception check. Also, sorry if you can hear my dog snoring in the background. I apologize. Ah, yes. Unfortunately, Savage, you are still not used to that bum eye of yours. You kind of rub it every now and again as it starts to act up in the bitter cold. And thankfully for you, you are very certain that your watch passes uneventful. And so,
Stupid I or not I.
I guess that.
Stupid lack of eye.
Alright, in that case, I assume you go ahead and wake up Meepo, and then Meepo, you would take your perception check.
Unfortunately, your lack of eye isn't something you can fight.
Or is it?
22. Okay. Meepo, as you are kind of scanning the horizon, you kind of pull your winter blanket around you. Kind of like your teeth kind of chattering as you're trying to fight back the cold. You look up into the sky, and you see, as per every night, that beautiful aurora borealis, as beautiful as it is deadly. You watch as across the sky, a none too unfamiliar sight passes overhead. The flapping of enormous wings, not dragon-like, but bird, as it flaps and lets out a screeching cry. Its feathers pure white, its beak and talons a stark blue. As it flies across the sky, that trail, that aurora borealis trailing behind it. A sight that you have seen before, and many of you have, even though I may not have mentioned it perhaps often enough. It is not an uncommon sight in these dark times, as many of the villagers in 10 towns claiming this great bird-like beast to be one of Oral's great beasts. Perhaps one of the very reasons why the Icewind Dale is trapped in this forever winter. As it flies across the horizon, its cries and wing beats get quieter, quieter, but that beautiful, beautiful light of blues and greens and purples shines above you, dazzling the snow around you, illuminating the area. Beautiful. But you know the weight of it, and it kind of sinks into you a little bit. But other than that, your watch goes by uneventful. Besides that. And so,
Sure do wish I could fly sometimes, but it's cold.
indeed. And of course, your watch comes to a close, which of course brings us to Hawks.
Okay, I'll take a look around.
Very well. Okay. All right. Kind of scan the horizon. The only thing that you hear is the whipping wind around you. No blizzard, no heavy weather, but just that constant, bitter cold. Reminder of the heavy toll that faces Icewind Dale. But your watch passes by uneventful. Thankfully. Skanak. It is your
Eh?
turn.
Oh, goody. I'd like to set about making that arcane firearm if I've got the opportunity, and I guess I also need to do advanced perception.
Indeed, I'd say this is enough of an opportunity to do so during your rest. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
So, would you like to describe how you make it, or would you like to describe how it looks?
Well, I found this bit of this bit of wood that's bent at like kind of a right angle, and it's kind of forked on one end. So what I did was I carved one end of it into more of like a handily shape, and I embedded a lot of sort of brass wires into it in the shape of runes, so it'll channel the magic more efficiently, and also so I can light shit on fire from a greater distance.
A worthy endeavor. You kind of shine in a little bit, kind of look at your work in pride. Yeah, this'll do it.
I'm gonna I'm gonna embed that pebble-sized tourmaline in it as well.
I've
Ah,
never seen a I've never seen a dragon make something like that. You got some real skills.
Yeah, damn straight.
so, despite that you're working on this, I'll say I won't give you disadvantage on your perception check. So 23. So let me see here. Okay. Skinnock, as you scan the horizon, make make a wisdom saving throw for me.
Oh no.
20. Okay. As you're kind of brandishing your newly fashioned arcane firearm, thinking, oh yeah, it's all coming together. Everything's coming up, Skinnock. You suddenly feel this weird sensation kind of tickle from the back of your shoulders to kind of like the base of your skull. And you kind of shake it off a little bit and shiver. It felt like something was trying to enter your body, and it was very unsettling. You kind of look around, you don't see the source of it, but you feel fine. Like whatever it was, you feel like you kind of muscled through it somehow. You kind of like shook it off, but it was extremely unsettling.
Eh, who's there? Is that you, ghost asshole? Come out with your hands up.
Make a perception check. Another one.
What's that about a ghost? Oh,
17. All right. Huh. Question. Um,
Yeah.
for specifically for Hawks. Your blind sight, is that an effect if you're only if you're awake or if you're incapacitated? Just checking for a friend.
What? The blind sight from the rune?
Not the rune, your fighting style.
The blind fighting has a range. You have blind sight with a range of 10 feet. Within that range, you can effectively see anything that isn't behind total cover, even if you're blinded or in the dark. I would assume to some extent that I would need to be awake to really perceive it anyway.
Well, it doesn't
so maybe
specifically
like
say that you need to be.
disadvantage passive
awake.
perception.
Yes, because you are asleep. This will be using your perception, but it will be disadvantage. This is using the same rules as like waking a sleeping creature.
Okay, perception with disadvantage.
Okay, not bad at all, even with disadvantage. Okay. Yes, yeah, that'll do it. Hawks, as you're having a very nice dream right now. You're in a cave like filled with like a bunch of kobolds, and you're kind of sitting around a campfire, and you're like kind of like all teaching them like, ah, yes, this is how you make this rune, and like they're like, oh, and they're all like clapping. It's a very very nice like wholesome dream. Um, but you awaken as you feel. Normally you're kind of like comfortable as you sleep. You like, ah, yes, I can sense this person, my companions who have all traveled with me, but yet suddenly, besides those who I travel with, there's a new presence. Something you kind of feel that there's something not right as you awaken. And you feel something. You hear. It's trying to hide it, but you hear very shallow breaths of multiple creatures. And you do as well, Skanuk. Yeah, I think you said BRB, but are you back, Michael?
I have returned.
Okay, good. Just checking because I saw your BRB. Um,
Right.
you hear kind of like this shuffling noise to your north specifically, and you see, or rather, you hear very shallow breathing. And you look around you, and you don't see anyone. You just hear the noise.
Would I have gotten my spell slots back by now?
I'll say at this point, this is like at the very end of your watch, so I'm going to say this would be the point where the long rest has quote unquote ended, so everyone would have officially completed the rest at this point.
Hooray!
So I know the direction, and do I know distance roughly?
Because you could hear the breathing, it's not that far away. It has to be like within 15 feet at the most of the camp, but you don't see anyone.
All right, I know you're there. Come out. Reveal yourself.
Ox will get up and grab his axe. And
I'm gonna count to 3.
maybe move to wake up everyone else.
1,
Oh, you don't have the temp max HP, no.
2.
Make
We're
Alive.
waking up. What's going on?
make a another make at this point everyone can make perception checks. Oh well, maybe not anymore. Okay. Okay, fairy fire then. All right, let me. Oh gosh, hold on.
I'm sorry for not really giving this time. But
No. It's totally fine. I did this. I made this encounter.
you made this choice.
No, I did this. Okay, let's see here. Okay. Oh yeah. Alright, this is gonna be a straight roll. Ah, jeez. Alright, so that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So you suddenly see, as you fire off the bioluminescent fairy fire, you suddenly see in the snow 3 dwarves. But these dwarves are not the dwarves as you're used to seeing in 10 towns. No. These dwarves have a dark gray complexion to their skin, and their armor is completely like slate gray and very unassuming looking, like very plain looking. And all of their hair and beards are stark white, and their eyes have like a slight grayish kind of film over them, and they all kind of like freeze up, and they slowly turn your direction as they hold their hands up. Is the I will ask, do any of you speak Dwarvish?
It does not.
Meepa Molo does.
Meepo, you know Dwarvish.
Right.
Very
Have-
good.
I have Undercommon, which they might speak, but if it's not what they're speaking right now, I wouldn't understand it.
It's not what they're speaking right now. However, that might come into play. I'll say, for everyone who's here, go ahead and roll me history checks. I'll say Hawks with advantage because you know Undercommon.
We were told something about dwarves recently by that dragon.
I'll tell him in Draconic that there was the we were told that the group of dwarves who are here is kind of the third party of a three-way sort of conflict with the Frost Maiden.
All right then.
What in
that-
Tiamat's tooth is a dwarf?
Is Savage? You had no idea. You're still somewhat kind of fresh to these parts, and it's like, I mean, they look like dwarves, kind of strange looking dwarves, but dwarves nonetheless. Yeah, Skunnock, you know what these are. These are Duergar. They're dwarves that reside in the Underdark specifically, and they very much despise dwarves on the surface. But to see one above the surface and in Icewind Dale is very rare. Say for the news that you heard recently from the dragon. So it's very interesting to see them here. As they start as they start speaking in Dwarvish to you. Oh now there, my kobold friends. No need to be hasty. We're just passing through, just happen to be passing by your camp. No need to get aggressive.
Right. As long as we're friends, I'm not gonna get any aggression with you. I say in Dwarvish.
You can say, the dwarf actually kind of looks to you, actually kind of surprised. Aye, you know our tongue. That's good. Makes things a bit easier then.
Hi, it does.
Very well. Afraid I don't know the common tongue too well, so I'm afraid you'll have to be our translator then.
What other languages do you know? Maybe we got another one you can speak.
Undercommon, for one.
Anybody here know Undercommon? I say in Draconic.
Oh yeah, I can speak that.
Alright, we got one that can speak Undercommon if you need to. In Dwarvish.
Aye, that'll be fine. Alright, give me just 1 second. I need to turn on an outlet that is charging my laptop. There we go. Perfect. Alright, now that's charging. For some reason it wasn't before, and now I know why. Okay, there we go. Very good. All right. Oh, hold on. Let me double check the stream just to make sure it's still.
Right. So, Skunnock, Savage, these folks are just passing by. No fighting yet. Not until we're attacked.
All right.
All right, give me 1 second. There we go. Am I still coming in clear?
Yes,
Yes.
you're good.
Yep.
Okay, because I had just switched back between my laptop, my mouse, just making sure I wasn't gonna cut out again like last time. All right. As you all are kind of observing these Duergar, go ahead and make perception checks for me. Yeah.
What do my lizard eyes see? Everything.
Quite.
I'm also hoping to get a little insight on their demeanor.
Sure, I'll let you do an insight check as well. Let's see. So, in that case, both Meepo and Skunnock, you would notice that the dwarves seem to be carrying sacks of something. Sacks filled to the brim with something apparently quite heavy. And all of them seem to be carrying this. And as you are kind of having this discussion, you see a fourth dwarf become visible.
So, what brings you guys out into the wastelands here?
Well, all we are is just passing through. We're just carrying some supplies up to our outpost near Kelvin's Cairn.
Oh, Kelvin's Cairn.
I'd heard of that place before. Wait, are they speaking in Undercommon or Dwarvish?
At this point, they are speaking in they're kind of like switching back and forth between kind of like a mix of undercommon and dwarvish. So
Hmm.
both you and Hawks could understand this conversation well enough.
Okay. I've heard of that place somewhere.
Aye, it's the large mountain. You can't miss it. Meepo, with your 19 insight, they are definitely carrying, you would assume, might be supplies. However, he's clearly trying to be slightly evasive of what they might really be carrying, as it were. It might not be the only thing that they're carrying, you assume.
You got anything to trade?
Trade? Kind of looks between his companions. No trade, unfortunately.
What kind of supplies you got there?
Kind of squints his eyes at you. Just enough for us to survive the harsh winter, my friend. Making new lives for ourselves up here. I'm sure kobolds of all creatures can understand that.
I surely can understand new lives.
He kind of nods to his compatriots. Well, I'm sorry we can't offer you any trade, but we have somewhere to be. He kind of like gives like a little jut of his chin to the other Duergar, and they kind of like start walking away unless you stop them.
Is there any particular reason you were making your way towards our camp here?
They kind of stop for a second. We were just interested in what might be. We thought it was abandoned. Turns out clearly that's not the case.
Right, we're just passing through as well. It might look abandoned just because it's a little bit of a roughshod job that was thrown together at last minute. If we were really gonna dig in here, it'd look a lot better.
Alrighty.
It's up there. I have a button that I can press now on the screen that is letting me post.
All your
Okay.
proficiencies.
Yeah, it's not even on my character sheet. It's just there beneath all our names. It's weird. I don't know where it came from.
Comes
Mysterious
from the
button.
attributes and abilities thing, I think.
Yeah, I believe so. Let's see. Go ahead. Let's see. As they're kind of like trying to walk away, they're clearly trying to finish this conversation. Go ahead and make another insight check for me, whoever wants to.
What did that earlier one turn up?
Which
I mean,
one?
I,
The
I
one.
assume it's gonna. Meepo got a 19.
Oh, the Meepo one I actually addressed. It was specifically that it seems like they were keeping something, trying to hide something, specifically about like what
I got
supplies.
another 19 is what he's saying.
Oh, you've got another 19?
No, I did mean the first one.
Oh,
But
okay. Well, I did address that already.
okay.
Thankfully. However,
Right.
with
But
the
there is
new
something.
with the new insight checks, however, there is something new that you notice. Specifically, that when he mentioned that he was seeing if it was abandoned, you gather it might have been to raid it for supplies, and it's clear that now, like he took like a good stock of you, and although it may pain him to do so, he thinks that he is no match for you, and he is attempting to walk away from the situation with all of their lives intact.
Right. I hope you guys have a wonderful new life that you set up for yourselves. And I hope we can live in peace with each other. Eldath be with you.
Kind of stops for a second. Kind of slow turns back. Kind of snorts. Turns away. As they turn away, they start like whispering amongst each other. For anyone who wants to, can go ahead and roll me perception checks.
Would that be to see what they're saying? Because that would be
Oh yeah,
selecting.
for anyone who can understand their language only for this one. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's 19s.
God,
Um,
Meepo is on fire apparently.
Only interacting with Drugar.
Apparently. As they're kind of sneaking away, you catch one of their whisperings. You kind of hear one whisper to the other, Kind of as it's looking over its shoulder and looking back to its companion. You gotta let Darth know about this. Some strong new adventuring types around Dale. We can't let them interfere with Zardarok's work. Kind of the other one kind of like whispers back to him. Aye. We should send one of our scouts back to Sunblight Fortress, back to the Spine, just to let them know. Aye. We gotta carry all this black ice, this Chardlin, back as well. Take one of the other boys back. Aye, sir. And that's what you hear as they walk away.
So do you if you share that
Right.
with the rest of the group?
So, folks, I think they might be worried about us as some sort of threat to them. They said something about black ice that they're carrying back to something Sun Fort, and they
That
mentioned a couple of names, Zadlak and the.
Finally, somebody recognizes my power.
Right. You fellas are pretty threatening.
they
Just,
were talking about that black ice, though.
I don't know what that is, but yeah, they were talking about it. That's what they got, apparently.
You mentioned before, based on a roll I did on the Drist lore,
Mm-hmm.
about the black ice being kind of a corrupting thing,
You did. Specifically, if I can actually give you a refresher on that. Give me just a second as I flip back through my notes.
which explains why they were saying they're coming from Kelvin's Cairn, is because that's where it's
Mm-hmm.
originating. Okay.
Well, not necessarily. Well,
That's
to be
where
fair,
a lot of it's located.
yes. To
at
be fair,
least.
to specify, when it comes to this this substance called Chardalin, or black ice, as it is more colloquially called, from what you remember, Hawks, of the Drizzt lore, is that more than 100 years prior to this current time, there was a wizard by the name of Akar Kessel who found an artifact that was suffused with demonic magic called Crenshinabon, better known as back in the day as the Crystal Shard. Also, the D&D adventure by the same name, wink wink nudge nudge, which was used to erect a great black tower in Icewind Dale. When this tower was destroyed, the magic that was used to create it kind of like fused with the surrounding ice to form what is now known as Chardalin. Basically a non-magical crystalline substance as strong as metal, although it's considerably easier to work with than steel. Now, there definitely would have been deposits in Kelvin's Cairn. However, you would know that there are deposits that are kind of scattered around the Dale itself. So it's not just in one place. It is kind of
Okay.
scattered around in like a lot of different places. But yes, to reiterate, prolonged contact with Chardalin basically can warp a creature's mind that can cause madness. And it's generally not a good material. Now, that is not to say it cannot be uncorrupted. In fact, for what you know, a Chardalin object that is suffused with the magic of the upper planes is actually considered a consecrated object, if it is specifically blessed and uncorrupted.
I kind of doubt that they're going to be blessing and uncorrupting that, though.
Right, but that's something maybe I can do.
That's true.
We could have Eldath
Oh, I'm sorry.
objects holy and sacred to Eldath.
All I'm saying is, though, that they're carting an awful lot of it around,
That is
and
true.
they're probably not going to be going through the process of uncorrupting it.
What do you think we should do?
You know, I'm one for peaceful solutions, but Skanuk's idea of mugging them actually feels like it makes a little bit of sense right now.
Oh no.
Would I know what kind of spells I could use to consecrate the Chardalin? I have
You get
the
this. You
ceremony
get the sense
spell.
that like, honestly, because of the power of and like the nature of the substance itself, a simple spell like that might not actually be enough. You probably would need something more along the lines of like maybe a hallow spell or a dispel.
Hallow. Okay.
Yeah, something
Yeah.
along those lines. Like, it would be a more powerful source of magic to do so.
Well, whether we've got it available or not right now, whatever they're doing with it is probably going to be bad news down the line. Now, we could assume that they don't have enough to finish whatever project they're working on, or we could assume that they might be pretty close to it and something bad is going to go down.
Right. That's true. Um. Also, if we were to prevent them from getting back to their friends, they wouldn't have any extra information on us. They might just assume they were uh taken by nature or some other force similar.
Let's mount up the sled and go after them then.
All right, let's get this bird connected to the sled then.
Aww. As Muerte Blanca lets out a righteous honk at the chance for maybe some blood.
I know that Eldath probably wouldn't be too happy with the action we're taking, but
Right.
I'm sure Eldath will be happier about us preventing whatever nonsense would come from that black ice being used for its purposes.
I think I am going to try to uh reason with them in the middle of the uh forceful discussion we're about to have, but if
I mean,
they're not reasonable, then we'll just have to deal with
I,
things Savage's way,
I mean, I feel like
next way.
if we're gonna take the stance of like actually attacking them, we should not leave survivors either way. Like,
No
Right.
mercy.
if you want to do the peace thing, now is the time to not do it.
I could see certain circumstances that might leave us allowing survivors, but they don't seem likely. Namely, if they're willing to convert to Eldath.
We become. Never mind.
All right,
Eldath
well,
folks.
let's saddle up and get them then.
Okay, so if you are in fact going to go after them, I would ask, are you trying to do so stealthily, like going to follow them from a distance, or are you just simply going to try and overrun them?
They're on foot. I think we should just try to overrun them.
Yeah. Point of order. How long has it been
How long has it been since what?
since
Since he cast
since they
Verify.
left? Since
Oh.
they cast verified us.
Oh, not very long at all, actually. It's been 10 minutes. Like, you guys have just been kind of
Okay.
discussing.
It still would have ended then. Okay, that's fair enough.
Okay, yeah, it would have been long enough for that, but yeah, not too long.
Dang. Oh well.
Alright.
It's still good. Let's use something more fun.
Well, let's
Hey,
mount up and go after them.
Hey, Hawks.
Yeah.
You want to be
So-
gargantuan?
If you're offering, I'll follow through with that.
First come screaming through here.
Did he what?
Did he come through?
I didn't see him.
Oh wait, he might just end up huge. Not gargantuan. Still, huge kobolds.
Oh, that sounds like a fun time to me.
Alrighty. In that case, as you decide to overrun them. Okay. So, hold on, let me set something out. I've been kind of setting stuff up on the side here. Let me do that. Don't roll initiative just yet, because I'm going to switch maps in just a second. Let's see, what music do I want here?
I cannot believe that we actually.
You're actually mugging them. I love it. You're actually going through with it. I am loving this.
No, I think if we didn't know what the stuff they were carrying was, we would probably let them go. Or I would be willing to let them go.
Yeah.
But the fact that we have some context for that being some
Like,
not
you know,
very
demon
good,
shit. Right.
yeah, not very good stuff. I'm not letting that go.
Alrighty.
He's poor to a car. That's right.
Alright, let me hold on a second. Alright, let me move the camera. Go ahead and roll initiative since you are as you're kind of chasing them down, they do notice you, and as they do, as you're trying to overrun them, they do suddenly turn twice their size. Let me just double check the stream.
Yeah, that's okay. I'll still be bigger than them when everything is said and done.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, perfect.
Does that like increase your movement speed or your or your health or anything, or it's just big?
Just makes you big. Makes you a big
It's
boy.
just big. It also adds damage, though. It does add damage.
Could you imagine a Duragar Rune Knight? It goes straight at third level, goes straight to huge by themselves. And then somebody casts Enlarge Reduce on them, makes them gargantuan.
Alright, so let me roll initiative for them. Their decks, it's just a straight roll. So, okay. Despite that, they actually still rolled pretty okay on their initiative. All right. So,
What if we try to convince them that like we're being chased by something?
ooh, you know what? I actually had to add Muerte Blanca to this initiative as well, just because.
Excellent. I need to make her a weapon.
And Sonar too. I can't forget your allies.
I need to make her a weapon as soon as I'm sure that she won't use it on me.
Oh, Muerte. Because you're all on the sled, this technically she would carry you all with her. So give me just a moment, and then Sonar, my poor boy Sonar. He actually, so actually let me refresh his health because he should be yes. Ah, the poor boy. Let's see.
He's a good boy.
What a
He's a great
lad.
boy.
What a lad, good old mummy lad. Ah, poor Sonar, that -1 to his dex. 13, okay, not bad.
Yeah, he does really well on initiative rolls in spite of the negative.
Yeah, it's really
He's a
surprising.
very quick-witted mummy.
Heck, he wants to protect you guys. He's a very wholesome boy. In any case, Savage. Currently, you're all kind of like balanced on the sled, and Muerte Blanca is currently bellowing, just honk, as currently the X-Beak is like careening with the sled with you all on it towards the Duergar. As part of your turn, I will let you drive the sled with Muerte to kind of like move you all forward. Muerte Blanca will not get an attack though. It will use her movement and kind of action to dodge and or dash while using her movement. Kind of acting like it's mounted.
Okay.
Oh, music stopped.
Then
So that
would we all just move up then? Like,
Yep, I'm putting it in your hands. You would all move up together, essentially. Considering you're all in the same sled.
right. So for ease of understanding, we'll just pop everyone right here at 30.
Okay. Let me move everyone up there. Alright.
And then whose movement does that take?
That takes specifically Muerte's.
Okay,
Oh, I believe to get off the sled, I would be half your movement.
right. So, ooh, I have 40 move speed already, so I would drop that down to 20. And if I action dash, then bonus action. So I would get up to this one here.
Alrighty. As you charge up screaming in a rage.
And that will end my turn.
Very well. In that case,
Will it? You're not gonna stab him?
well,
Well,
I use my action to dash.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
okay, we'll say that Muerte was kind of taking the dodge action to drop everyone off here. So say that's Muerte's turn. Hux.
alright, so it's half movement to get off the sled, and then I've got 15 left after that. What do I want to do? So, yeah, Hawks will jump off the sled and move up to hear about.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll call out and be like, hey! He'll call out an undercom and be like, you know that junk you're carrying around? It's not very pleasant stuff. And I think Hawks will, for the time being, take the dodge action as he advances. And I'll activate my Giant's Might as my bonus action.
Alrighty. In that case, Hux becomes the Swobold. Brr, brr, brr.
I'm recommending that you drop it, in Eldath's name.
1 second. Alright.
No, and Hawks will end his turn. Like I said, taking the dodge action.
Very well. Okay. In that case, after your turn, will be the Duergar's turn. As you address and kind of bellow out this challenge. The one kind of closest to you, kind of looks at his companions, kind of gives you a sneer, and says in Undercommon, "We know more about what to do with this stuff than you do, Kobold. Try and take it from us if you can." And as he says that, he suddenly sees you bulk up, and he's like, "Oh, that's new." He's actually kind of stunned for a second. He kind of shakes it off, and throws a javelin at you, actually.
That's not how kobolds work.
Alright, so this will be... Yeah, he's gonna throw a javelin. As an 8 to hit you, which will miss.
Disadvantage anyway, so...
Oh, right, yeah. I mean, yeah, I was gonna say 8 was gonna be the lowest anyway. Disadvantage anyway. Yeah, the javelin just sinks into the snow right next to you, and it kind of curses in Dwarvish to himself. Meanwhile, this other Duergar will step forward. He's gonna kind of look around, kind of scanning his targets. He's actually gonna get... Yeah, he's actually gonna get... You know what? He's gonna get in range with you, Hawks, actually. He's going to bring out what appears to be a war pick with a wicked edge to it, and seems to be made from this insect-like chitin. And he's going to swing at you with it. With the disadvantage again. 6 to hit, which will also miss, as you kind of defensively bring up your shield and kind of like parry each individual swing that he takes at you, and he kind of snarls in frustration.
I don't think so.
Yeah, meanwhile, these two Duergar, this one's going to come over here, this one's going to come around this way. They're going to try and flank you with each other.
Ha! Bet.
Well, we'll see. Yeah, with that war pick, one on the left is going to swing at you first with an 18, and then the second one gets a natural... Oh my god. Why? This is not the first time this has happened. When you said bet, they've actually... This has not happened before? Am I...
Do not challenge the gods.
We're roll 20. So, as a reaction, I will use my tail to hopefully cause that 18 to miss, because I'm not going to be able to make that 20 not hit.
Right. So go ahead and roll your d8. Oh!
I'm literally one short of AC in order to make... Well, 2 short. I'm too short.
Oh, really? Even with the 8?
Yeah, because, well, not for the 18, but on the 20, I'd be too short because that makes my AC 23.
I think a natural 20 hits anyway, but that would have been that's still really cool that you could have hit like a
Yeah,
19 or like something like that. That's actually really
yeah.
good to know. So the one on the left does actually miss as your tail suddenly grows and elongates, and you swat it to his warpick to the side. He just kind of looks at you in just this sheer kind of curiosity and wonder, and then kind of disgust in a way as he kind of shakes himself off of it. The other one, as you kind of parry that warpick, the other one sees his chance and sinks it right into your shoulder blade. And this is actually going to hurt because he's enlarged. So that's actually.
And it's not going to go as deep as he thought it would.
That's gonna do that's a lot of damage.
It will be. However, thankfully you are raging, so that will mitigate a lot of this. Okay, so that's 15 reduced to 7. So you can take 7 points of piercing damage as the warpick pierces into your hide. Alright, but that is the Duergar's turn. Alright, so it is now Sinar's turn. Sinar kind of looks at the rest of you and just kind of goes, and kind of gives like a nod. You see him reach out his arms and kind of like a wide kind of hug me kind of pose, and just starts kind of like walking slowly towards the enemy.
Well done, that mummy.
Yep, so he's just gonna walk over there very slowly. Skanuk, your turn.
It is time for the largest kobold.
Indeed. So how would you like to flavor this, Skanuk?
All right, Hawks. This is probably gonna hurt a little bit. It'll be fine though. Just slight psychosomatic injury, and then he's going to like shoot a syringe into Hawks's back.
It's like, Mr. Stark, I don't feel so. Bloop, 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 bloop.
It's full of some sort of like glowing red liquid.
As suddenly, Hawks, you feel your muscles start to bulk up even more so than before. You are Giga Hawks.
All right. God, this feels powerful. This feels great.
It looks powerful.
As the world's biggest kobold.
The biggest kobold. Meanwhile, all the Duergar are just stare in shock. Like as they had specifically enlarged themselves to be bigger than you, and then suddenly they all just look up. As Hawks, you stare down at them, eyes glowing red with the power of this arcane steroid. I assume that's your turn, Skinnock?
Yeah, not much in the way of bonus action.
Okay, fair enough. In that case, Meepo, it is your turn.
Right. I don't know what he was saying to you, but I do know that that stuff is probably going to cause a lot of damage, not just to other people, but also to your own people, and I don't think you want that. And it might be just best if you just let us have it and go your own way. For now, though, I think we're gonna have to take it if you're not gonna give it to us.
You just hear one of them go, Sodov, this shit's ours. You can't have it. Alright,
And I'm
Beacon
gonna
of Hope.
cast Beacon of Hope on all of my allies.
Okay. The duration, they have advantage on wisdom saving throws and death saving throws. And they gain the
Oh,
maximum number
I'd have to move up to here to do that.
Ah, fair enough. Okay, so you move up a little bit in order to do so. Okay, perfect. All right. As the blessing of Eldath flows out from you, this warm kind of almost like water kind of flowing, the sensation of flowing water on your bodies kind of affects everyone within range of Meepo's choice. You all feel at peace, which is at odds with the adrenaline flowing through all of your bodies right now. All right, so that is your action. Do you have any bonus action, or is that it?
I don't think I have a bonus action cantrip. Let me check my abilities. That's an action. Yeah, no, I'm good.
All right, cool. In that case, Savage, it is back to you.
I let out a primal roar.
Alrighty. You roar out a challenge of a draconic nature to our Duergar foes, giving you advantage on your attacks.
And I'm going to attack the one on my right.
Do it. Get him! 20 will definitely hit. Ooh, 11 points of slashing damage. You said the one on the left?
The one on the
Right.
On the right.
On the right.
Gotcha.
And then I do it again.
Do it again. Ooh, 24. That'll definitely hit. 7 points of slashing damage. As it turns out, they are more bark than bite. He looks heavily wounded as you slash your longsword twice, severely injuring him in the process. Let me double check something. Okay, never mind. Okay, that's just racial ability. Okay. Alright. Cool.
It's my turn.
Alright. What a turn. Now it is Muerte Blanca's turn. Also, I mistyped Blanca as Bonka. Hold on. Can I fix that? Will you let me fix that?
You know, Muerte Bonka.
Why have I? How long has that been there?
It's been a long time.
I'm so
Hey, you got it
embarrassed.
without anybody pointing it out to you, so you don't have to feel embarrassed.
Ah.
Well,
It's just.
I mean, to be honest, I can't see that. Like, I don't have a name tag.
Oh,
on.
good. Okay, I'm looking on the stream. Oh, thank goodness. I'm the only one who can see it. But I just
Nobody
pointed it out.
knows.
No one had known until I just said it. So
Now the world knows.
yeah, I outed myself out as a terrible speller. Anyway, Muerte Blanca goes forth in anger, carrying both Skanuk and Bean with her. She's gonna go all out on this Duergar. Murdy Bolnka. Yeah, alright. Yeah, okay, let's see here. Yeah, she's gonna attack with her beak.
MB stands for either Muerte Blanca or Murder Bird.
Indeed, a 13. Unfortunately, Muerte will strike with her beak. You just let out a honk, and she tries to pummel the Duergar. But the Duergar just kind of like looks at her, just kind of goes, ugh, and kind of like bats away the beak with his warp pick, leaving just Muerte just dazed for a second.
Fuck off.
Unfortunately, her bloodlust has not been sated yet. Hawks, it is back to you. You are now Giga Hawks.
Alright, Gigahawks is going to step up to here and let out a draconic roar. This is going to be a very action-filled turn, by the way.
I imagine so.
So, Hawks is going to do a draconic roar, and he's going to cry out and roar out, "If the world wasn't full of troublemakers like you, Eldath wouldn't have any need for things like me."
Uh-huh.
And I'm going to action surge,
Oh, dear.
which will give me 4 attacks total to do.
Oh, boy, here it comes.
And I'm going to do 2 against the top one.
Alright.
And technically it's 2 attack actions, so I'm going to hold off after the first wave of attacks to see what happens before I declare my second one.
Okay, fair enough. So roll those
So
first
the battle axe, I'll chop,
two. That'll hit.
and I will chop.
That'll also hit.
These both get an additional d4.
And they also get an additional...
I have 1 use of the d6, and I'm going to hold it off for my last swing just in case I crit somewhere along the way.
Okay, so let me just calculate this real quick. So that's 11, and then 8, so that's 19. Alright, okay, so the first Duergar on the top is still standing. However, he is heavily wounded.
Alright, so for my second attack action, I'll throw 1 battle axe at him, and then 1 at the guy to my right.
Alrighty. 23. Go ahead and roll that damage. 4 plus...
4 and another d4. So that's 6.
Alrighty. That is just enough. You bring down your. Funnily enough, an additional side effect of the steroid also somehow affects your weapon, as the enlarged axe triples in size and then cleaves the Duergar in twain with a mighty as the snow itself parts in a V formation. Oh, as I hit my mic, sorry, in a V formation, as the Duergar is no more.
And I'm going to turn and make my last attack against the other Dwergar.
At 16 is just enough to hit its armor class.
Alright, and in this case, I will use the d6 since it's my last attack, so there's a d4 and a d6 added. So 15 total there.
15. Okay. He is still up, but he is very badly hurt. Alrighty.
And that is Hox's turn.
And what a turn it was. After the massively impressive display from both Hawks and Savage, the Duergar, they kind of exchange looks amongst each other. Let me roll. I gotta roll morale checks for them. 1 second. Okay. They all turn craven. They're going to make let's see here. There's 2. Yeah, they're gonna try and dash, all of them. So Hawks will get an attack of opportunity, and so will Savage against 1.
17.
17 will be enough. Go ahead and roll damage. 8 points.
10 points.
10 points. 1 away. He is still barely standing.
Get back here.
Oof. Dang it.
Alright, 10, unfortunately, is not enough. Well, let me double check the distance on that one. They are going to attempt to run off of the map. You can attempt to give chase if you wish. So they are not like, they are like 20 feet like off the map here, so they would be like technically where you are. They'll be 60. Hold on, let me be 60 feet away from you, Savage. It would be from your position. It would be 15 feet away if you dash next turn, Hawks.
Well, we did say if we're gonna do it, we can't leave any of them alive.
Agreed.
If I dash, I move 80 feet.
You do.
So, I'm gonna dash. I'm gonna cut them off.
Alright, you'll do so. I will say for the next portion of this will be, I'm going to say this will be contested athletics checks. To see if you can, in fact, keep up, which I believe you can, but we'll see. Because I do have a slight gain on you, for now. Let's go ahead and make some athletic checks for both Hawks and Savage. The rest of you, this will be, I'll say, go ahead and make vehicle or animal handling checks to kind of like get Muerte to give chase as well.
Hux has advantage on athletics on strength checks, so
He does. Oh.
Savage.
Alright, so let me double check the Duergar real quick.
Okay. Look, Morte, they flee. They fear you. End them.
Alright, so they actually don't get a bonus to their athletics, so this may have been a bad choice on their part.
Behold, blood.
MB stands for either Muerte Blanca or Murder Bird.
Alright,
I
so
just made her angry.
Alright, so they in fact rolled very poorly on their athletics checks. As they try and like they run in their little dwarven legs to try and escape. As they turn around, suddenly they see boom, 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 boom. Even with your low roll, Hawks, your massive increase to height leads you to give a gain on them. And Savage, you're just like, as they're running, suddenly like they look behind you. Ha! They're gone. They can't follow us. They turn around. You're right. They're there in front of them. But you nothing personnel them.
I drop down on all fours and just
Giving them just enough time giving Meepo and Skanuk just enough time to catch up as you kind of whisper that. Even though she can't understand you, Skanuk, you just see the bloodlust curdling, and the eyes widening as Muerte Blanca gives out a honk and just books it, giving you
He
well
knows what
within
prey
range.
looks like.
Yes, giving you well within range. Go ahead and make everyone make any kind of attack of their choice. Or spell, your choice.
Any one attack?
Or just essentially take a turn. Forgive me.
Okay.
Yes, all at once. Just bring it all.
Hmm.
Bring the fire.
All right, hit.
14 fire.
Has anyone been hurt?
Savage.
Zach,
Okay, then I'm probably gonna healing word savage.
First battle axe is going to get the d6 as well.
But
So
you're under the effect of my other spell, so you would just get the
Yeah.
full health for that.
All right, just keeping it all keeping a tally of all the damage.
So I don't even have to roll.
12 and 15. 11.
Just
Damage.
Eldath, heal him.
oh, how much health do I get?
It's the full.
Yeah, because
What is the
because beacon of
Four. What's your spellcasting ability modifier?
Oh right, it's 5, so 9.
Okay.
Nice. So as you all charge upon the enemy, you overwhelm them entirely and crush them beneath your heels. They are all dead. You have fully slaughtered them all, and combat has come to a close.
Anybody else feeling down in the dumps?
I'm feeling like I could scoop up these bags of this nasty black ice and just throw them off into the hills where they'll never be found again.
Right, that's possible, but they could be found if somebody's really looking hard. Wondering if we could just bury them.
Or we can use them for things.
I don't really think.
What were you saying, Savage?
I said for science.
I know.
And what did you not think, Hawks?
I don't think we should mess around with this until it's been purified.
Right. Once we get it purified, I think it would be real handy. So maybe burying it somewhere where we can come back and find out ourselves.
Does anyone have a shovel?
Oh,
There's a network shovel in here somewhere.
I believe
Let's
one of you
see.
does have a shovel.
no shovel here. Someone had one. Hops, you got like a giant shovel?
I
No,
have the
I've-
antlers from a female moose.
I've got a hammer and a crowbar.
Got my mace.
Oh, we could always try to blast a hole open.
Can I see how well I can dig with my claws while in this like mega huge state?
Sure. Go ahead and give me an athletics check with advantage because you're enlarged. You're gigged.
I'll try to like scoop through some snow, and if there's like a big boulder or something, I'll try to lift it and like make a space we can throw it all under there.
16. I mean, with your massive claws, I'd say with enough effort, probably. Again, because of your big size, like probably not even like maybe 15 or so minutes. I'd say you get a deep enough hole, to bury all of this turtle. And there is a sizable amount, but considering the snow around you, you could probably bury it far enough and cover it with enough snow where very few people will be able to find where it was.
So, all right. Then Hawks will do that, and probably by the end of that, he would be small Hawks again.
Right, purifying it's part of what's going to make it real helpful to us, because then it'll be able to be used without having any trouble, like hurting you or hurting allies. And then we could do things with it that would please Eldath, I think.
And I think we're both pretty good at making things, right, Skinnock? So we could get a
Yeah.
full set of weapons out of this if we can. If we can get it purified.
Yeah. Yeah, we could do that. We could do that. Big old
Alright.
bunch of sanctified thingamagubbins.
It'll take some time though. I gotta grow in the ways of Eldath, if you know what I mean.
No, no.
I'm just not in tune with Eldath enough to be able to purify it just off the bat. I can make holy water, but that's probably the extent of what I can do. Ice is a little harder.
Well, for the time being, we should mark this place on our map. Maybe, move the bodies of these, dark dwarves away from it so that, no one associates them with this spot.
Which, by the way, they would also shrink back to their normal sizes as well. At this time, once they expire.
They happen to have any hand axes on their persons?
Hand axes, no. They only had war picks, and they each would have had. Well, okay, hold on. Okay, they each had like 2 extra javelins on them, but had no hand axes, unfortunately.
Hmm.
But it is a thrown weapon.
Does anyone else use javelins?
Sure. I can make some sort of javelin flinging device.
I mean, don't you have a spell that does something like that? Would that work?
Maybe.
Yeah, and just to clarify, these weapons aren't made of charlatan, right?
These weapons, no, they're not.
Okay.
Just good,
Alright.
a good call. I think I did mention before. You might have missed it. The weapons themselves seem to be made out of
Chitin.
chitin. Yes, they are made from like insect-like material. Clearly, for something very hard.
Can we tell what this would have come from?
Sure. Go ahead and make a nature check.
I'll grab. So they each had 2 extras, so I'll grab 4 and hand 4 off to Savage if he wants them.
Okay, 11 and a 5. Unfortunately, I mean, just coming from kind of looking at it, clearly whatever this came from had it seems like the pick itself came from what you assume to be a mandible of some kind. Very long and kind of hooked and curved, and you can see part of the actual pick itself is it has that kind of like that swirl to it. And then you need to like kind of like the oh gosh, basically it has that kind of like that thing that a mandible has where it does that little kind of swirl, like kind of like curve inward, and then 2 sharp points. Do you know what I'm talking about? When you look at a mandible.
Right.
Sorry, I have trouble describing it. I apologize.
I kind of get what you're talking about, like the pokey parts of the inside.
Yes, specifically the pokey parts on the insides. But that's unfortunately you can't tell more than that. Unfortunately.
Disfavorably.
Disfavorably, yes. So you have no idea what this came from.
The dice are not in our favor.
Not this day. Yeah, and it seems like as you look at the javelins, they're clearly made out of a very similar material. But instead of a mandible, these are made from very sharp, piercing legs, it seems.
Not even metal.
Not even metal, just entirely made out of biological material.
Worthless. I mean, I can technically use them, but you know, I have gun.
You do in fact have a form of gun. 16, Savage.
Figured I keep my mouth shut since I'm kind of stupid and I don't know what I'm talking about. but I might know.
You might know. You've seen creatures like this before in your time. At your best guess, you might think it might come from a spider-like creature known as a steeder, which has very sharp, bladed legs and very sharp mandibles. Yeah, you would know that these creatures can jump to an extraordinary amount, as well as having just sticky sort of legs, although that kind of like stickiness doesn't appear to be on these javelins, even though they were on the legs. That's what you know, though. So if you'd like to share that information, you certainly can, or you can keep it to yourself.
I'll keep that bit to myself,
Fair enough.
since it probably relates to my background.
Probably. Let's see. Yes, so with all your combined effort, so where do you want to do with the bodies as you place the chartolin in this pit and cover it up?
Right, I'm gonna take the time, if we've got it, to do a ritual for these bodies, so we don't see them in the next week or so, coming back as some sort of zombie or something. If you
Okay.
guys want to spare the time, how many are there? 4?
There are 4 of them, yes.
No, I think that
It'll
is an
take about-
excellent call.
It'll take about 40 minutes for it all, unless the DM wants to give me the 10 minutes for 4 bodies, which I doubt.
Well, before you get that chance, you're still like,
I mean,
oh
you
yes, I'm
know-
going to be super respectful to these bodies, and suddenly you see, whoosh.
Right, I can still do the ceremony on burning
please do.
bodies.
Please do. Don't
mean-
mind me.
Cremation is a thing, right?
Right,
Just
there are
double
many
tap.
cultures where cremation is the way to bury them. I don't know their own culture, so I'll just use Skinex's culture here.
All right, and as you contemplate this, as the bodies create a slight bit of warmth in the cold air, I'm actually going to call for a little break right here, as I need to go to the bathroom and let my dog Bowser outside.
Right, and I'm
Go
going to
for
let
it.
my sister's dogs outside and get some food.
All right, so I'll be right back. So yeah, we'll be back in a few minutes.
Not the 40 minutes for the ceremony,
Not 4
just
minutes,
a few
probably a
minutes
little
for
bit
the
longer,
other
maybe like 6 or 7. We'll see.
Need to learn how to spell piercing properly. And they are.
Ah, I have returned.
I am still here.
Yay! There we go. Alright, let's see here. Let's see. Who else is here?
I am here.
Hello. Alright, so, how's the session going so far?
So far, so good.
Good. I'm glad we got to see Gigahawks in action.
I am very glad to have more throwing ammunition as well.
Indeed. They may not be what you want in hand axes, but they are still viable.
Also,
Yes?
like I said, Savage can take a few if he needs them.
Mm-hmm.
Of the javelins,
Yeah, there should be 8 total because there's 4 who each had 2.
Yes.
I took 4 and I was going to offer 4 to Savage.
sure, yeah, I'll take 4 javelins.
Excellent.
Extra one, I'm very in favor of this gang violence we can partake in it.
Alrighty. Ah, so you are. Okay, so Michael's back. Steven, are you back?
That's my problem.
I guess not. Let's wait for Steven to get back, and then we'll get back into it.
Are you laughing at the plants? Don't harass the plants, please. No plants harassment. There's no tolerance that.
See that Nikki's battle against the cats continues.
Apparently.
Yeah, Fwiff is trying to eat her plants that she's been working on.
Oh no.
He's so he can't get to it when she's got it in like the little greenhouse thing, but she's got it out and is working on it, and he's like jumping up and sniffing around and going for him because he's a troublesome cat who has no sense of personal space.
Well, he saw.
Have
He
you
saw.
tried
He
buying-
saw.
What'd you say, Caleb?
I was gonna ask if you tried buying cat grass.
You know, it's funny because we have in the past, and they knocked it over and didn't do anything with it.
Because my wife likes to have plants around the house, and our cat was kind of a dick and dug some of theirs up. But we bought her cat grass, and she's actually been really enjoying that.
I reckon.
But I guess all cats did in one way or another.
No, he has no sense of personal space. You remember earlier when we were those of us who were on chat earlier when we got off to go get lunch, I sat down for a moment and he climbed into my shirt and I was stuck for a few hours. I basically took a nap because he climbed into my shirt and that was what he wanted to do.
Oh,
Was take a nap because he's got no sense of personal space. And then I had to get something to eat after I woke up. He's just the neediest cat.
But a cute boy nonetheless.
Oh, he's extremely cute. He's got a little got a puppy collar on him that's got a little bow tie on it. He's a very handsome cat with his little bow tie.
Hey, Steven.
I'm here.
Ah, there you are.
Yeah, I've been listening.
Ah,
I gotta stop this cat from eating plants. 1 second.
okay. One returns, one leaves.
No.
Such is life.
No. Yeah, you're fine with me.
Let's see. While we're just kind of here, I do actually need to roll something. Let's see. For those of you who are here, go ahead. Let's
Okay,
say
I'm back.
Caleb. Caleb, yeah, okay. Caleb, go ahead and roll. Let me double check. What is this? Roll a d8 for me, Caleb. Very good. Okay. Very well. Are we all back then?
Possibly?
I mean, Steven just got back. Caleb's here. Michael, are you still
Yeah,
here?
I'm back.
I am here.
Okay, good. Let's get back into it then. So unfortunately, Meepo, I would need you to take an hour for each individual body.
Right, I knew that. I was just double checking to see how generous you were feeling.
Not generous today enough today.
Yeah, I know.
But no. It does take, of course, 4 hours to properly put the bodies to rest and their charred remains.
Wait, is this a ritual? This
Is
is
it?
a ritual. Does ritual just add 10 minutes, or
Oh,
does it?
It would just add 10 minutes.
Right, so it'd be 4 hours and 40 minutes.
It would. So thankfully, you did just wake up. So it
Right.
is still it'd be about noon at this point.
I suppose I'd probably be doing that while they were burying the black ice.
Right. Which it would have. They would have finished that by the time that you would have started.
Oh yeah, obviously, but just to save a little bit of time.
Right. Fair enough. So around this time, it's probably around noonish, you would guess. So I assume at that point that you're heading back to Ten Towns.
So the rest of us could take a short rest, right?
Oh, I'd say during that
Yeah.
time, definitely. The rest of you could, yes.
Cool, I can get my action surge back. Surge in actions.
Indeed. While you all are resting, Snar actually walks up to you, Savage. Kind of gives you a thumbs up. Hello, friend. Can you hear me? Can you hear into my thoughts? I'm trying to initiate communication.
Initiated communication accepted. How are you, Nar?
I am doing great. Everything is wonderful. I'm here with my liberators and friends. Everything could not be better. Sonar is doing A-okay.
That's good to hear, Sinar.
How are you?
I'm good.
Ah,
Yeah.
good. What a prosperous and beneficial communication.
You know what, Sinar? Yes. Yes, it was.
Just gives a slow nod and a sigh. Both verbally and mentally, and then just slow turns and then walks away.
What an odd fellow.
Indeed. But in any case, I assume at this point, after your short rest, you would get on your way back to Ten Towns.
Excellent.
Very good. So, are you, let me just get the map back here. Because beans. Gotta switch focus. Switch. There you go. Switch focus back onto that. There we go. That's pretty good. So, are you guys returning to which town of 10 towns are you returning to? Are you going to head straight back to Torga in Bryn Shander, or are you going to go to a different town to begin with?
We need to turn in this booze, right?
Indeed.
I think Brinchander, therefore, would be the most optimal, not optional, optimal choice.
A fair assessment. Let me double check. Let me double check distance really quickly from where you are now and the distance you took yesterday to get to where you are. You would be... Yes. Okay. I have a separate map. Good. Alright, so. You spend the rest of the day heading back to Bryn Shander. And thankfully, the wind is not quite so harsh today. The cold, not as biting. It's a rather strangely pleasant day for Icewind Dale, more so than the past few weeks. And it's a strange blessing that you kind of just think, you kind of slightly give thanks, some of you, to Eldath in that time.
Praise Eldath.
Indeed, praise Eldath. And with Eldath's praise, you make it back to Bryn Shandor, unaccosted by any other denizens of the Dale. So, you make it into town. Now, I assume, of course, you'll be heading back to Black Iron Blades. Am I correct?
Yes.
Very good. Alright, as you make your way back there, go ahead and roll perception checks for me.
Who's the head?
Ah, yes, that's a good question. Who is the head?
Who was head last time?
I think I was. Let me double check what I have written down.
I'm pretty sure
Savage.
Meepo is. Oh,
Savage and Bryn Shander.
Then Savage. Okay, then Savage would be the one to possibly see this. Except he rolled a 9. But even with a 9, there are still some things you would notice. For the rest, so for what all of you see as see and hear rather as a group, the streets, the normally empty kind of streets of Bryn Shander, are suddenly a bustle. There is talk and kind of murmuring and general kind of discontent within the people. 23 for Meepo. Let me double check something here. Let me
That'd probably just be hearing.
You would just be hearing, yes, but it's specifically hearing is what is important in this situation.
So maybe that 21 would count for Savage? If he's not looking for stuff?
I am going to count that for him, yes. That's a good point. I just double check. Where is... I'm looking for a very specific page in the module. I'm not finding it. Sorry, give me a second. Ah, here we go. You hear, kind of like, in general, for both Savage and Meepo, you both would hear general murmurings amongst the town. Everyone is on edge. Specifically, for one reason. Tonight is the night of the lottery. And for... I think Skunnock would have mentioned this, and all of you would have been in the Dale long enough to know what that means. For the three major towns of Targos, Bryn Shander, and East Haven, on the night of the new moon, each town has an individual sacrifice to appease the Frost Maiden. Some towns leave a sacrifice of food, or a day's catch of knucklehead trapped outside of town, and a cragcat or other similar creature affiliated with the Frost Maiden is said to take it and accept it. Other towns, like Bremen, give a sacrifice of warmth, where no fires burn that night. But in Targos, Bryn Shander, and East Haven, because there are so few resources to go around, and because there are too many mouths to feed, these towns give a sacrifice of a person. And the lottery is picked among the citizens of each town, and a winner, quote unquote, or rather, the one who draws a marked lot, is the one who is sacrificed. As visitors to 10 towns, or rather, as the wandering religious giant of Eldeth, you are not technically a citizen, and thus you have not been marked as part of the lottery as of yet. Thankfully. But of course, if you become a citizen, that might well change. But the murmuring kind of grows louder as people are awaiting the announcement of the lottery. And that is all that seems to occupy the mouths and minds of the townsfolk around you, as they, each one fearing for their life, as you kind of wander the streets. But eventually, you make your way through the crowd, the air around you just filled with anxiety and fear. You do make your way to Black Iron Blades. And you see, as you walk inside, Garn the Hammer and his sister Elza are currently closing up shop for the night, but they see you, kind of give each other a look, and the elder brother Garn kind of stands up. You're back. You here to see Torga?
Yeah, that's right.
Aye. I'll let her know. Come inside. Take the load off. Kind of nods at his sister. I'll leave the shop unlocked. I'll leave the key with Torga. They kind of like you see them kind of exchange like a worried look with his sister, and they kind of grab each other by the hand, and they sort of walk away back to what you would assume their homes, possibly. And the door is left open for you to head inside.
And I do so.
All right. You direct your group inside. And inside, eating what appears to be a handshake of some kind, and currently scribbling in a ledger, you see Torga. Her blonde hair in a bit of a tight bun this evening, and wearing heavy furs. She kind of looks up from her ledger, and she gives a wry grin. Aye, you made it back, did ya? Did you bring that rum?
Yeah, we brought you rum.
Excellent, excellent. I knew I could count on you lot. Come, let's have a look at it.
Who's got it down there?
Canuck does.
You can
I
shut the door
think it was
behind
either
her.
Canuck or
No
Mito.
one's gonna know anyway. I know your secret anyway. You might as well come at once.
I have the slab from the crate that has the picture of Charlaxle.
All right, you
I'm
kind of
gonna
bring.
pull that out.
All right, you bring both out. Aye. All right, this. She kind of takes the bottle. This is good stuff. Oh, I haven't seen a crate, one of this brand in a long time, maybe 20 or so years. Aye, that's rare right there. Only a few hundred bottles were ever made. Aye, I can make a pretty copper off this. Well, she kind of sets the bottle down. You lot have certainly fulfilled your end of the bargain, and so I will fulfill mine. As of now, she kind of brings out, she kind of flips over her ledger, and she kind of brings out a satchel and pulls out a series of parchments. She kind of looks at you, kind of counts, brings out 4. She brings out what appears to be a rubber stamp, kind of stamps each one. Uh, and as you kind of mutter that, he kind of like looks up for a second, thinks, kind of waves her hand. Shouldn't be a problem. You didn't take any of its gold, did you?
Oh no, we are alive.
That is true. Kind of shrugs.
Right. We did talk to the dragon.
She kind of raises an eyebrow. And you lived. Well, clearly you did since you're standing in front of me. It's almost hard to believe, but... She kind of looks you over. You've surprised me once before. You surprised me again.
Kobolds are really good at living when it comes to dragons.
She kind of snorts at that. Apparently. So, she kind of hands out these parchments to you. As she does, you take a look at each individual parchment, and each one appears to be an approved stamp of membership of Torga's trading company. So, as of now, you are currently, if you choose to accept it, under my employ, which nothing will change for you. However, being under my employ has certain, shall we say, advantages. I'm going to show you something. As part of Torga's merchant company, you are treated to accommodations. You can stay at one of my few bases in 10 towns for any period of time. However, staying longer than a week, you must pay 5 silver pieces a day per person. As for equipment, you can, as part of the company, you can requisition the use of specialized tools, laboratories, and other crafting space and equipment to use within the base. When you make an ability check with a set of artisan's tools or any of our equipment, you can, let's just say it'll be an easier time for you. I'll say that much. And as such, of course, speaking of equipment, you can use some of our many different resources and leverage some of our contacts to locate different goods that you may need for a special crafting. Whether it be magical components, magical items, or if you're looking for buyers, we can do that too. And last but certainly not least, training. I know a few people around 10 towns, and if you're looking to learn a new skill, I'll see what I can do to pull some strings and get maybe someone who can teach you a thing or two. Does that sound satisfactory to each one of you? She kind of looks around and scans you.
I'm fine with it.
Sounds good to me.
Works for me.
Sounds like a whole lot of opportunity.
Aye, opportunity abounds, my friend, especially if you're on my team. She kind of gives you a wink. Now then, I'm sure you would like some rest, am I right?
That would be helpful.
Very good. I myself need to, a little bit of shut eye myself, so follow me. She kind of walks outside. Oh, and, well, I'm sure you don't need me to tell you to get your little disguise on.
Right.
Indeed. So, you all get up in your little costume, you strap yourselves in, and you shuffle behind Torga as she makes her way through the streets. And as she does, Savage, go ahead and make a perception check for me. I'll say not a disadvantage, because this will be based on hearing. 11. Okay. Over in the distance, you can hear the murmuring of a large crowd, back from where you had come from before. You hear a very authoritative male voice saying something, but it's kind of hard to pick up over the nightly wind. Unfortunately. And then followed by his voice, you would hear kind of like a murmured female voice as well. But other than that, you unfortunately do not hear much else. You just hear general sounds of authoritative voices speaking out to a crowd.
Mm.
Which thankfully, Torga does, the way that she leads you, does actually get closer to the sounds of the sounds of these voices. And as that happens, yes, all right, okay. Torga kind of like walks through an alleyway, kind of like takes a look around, make sure no one's watching. And as you walk through this little alleyway, you would hear that male authoritative voice again. By the power invested by me, and by our speaker, Professor Shane, I hereby start this lottery. Bring forth the tokens. And you kind of like hear some discontented murmuring. It takes a few minutes pass by as you continue walking, and eventually, a lot has been chosen. And then eventually you do hear that female voice pipes up again. This time, let me see here.
Hey,
Yep, go ahead and speak.
Skanuk, when they do these sacrifices, do they just send them out into the wastes, or do they kill them and put them out there?
For what you know, Skanuk, it depends on the town, but generally, they'll either... Bryn Shander and East Haven generally tend to strip them bare and send them out into the waste. Targos has been known to not make a public execution out of it, but they kind of like, they set a bonfire, essentially, and make a spectacle of it.
Bryn Shander's more of the long walk type of place.
What happens if this person taking the long walk gets some mysterious guidance and survives the night, for instance?
That's Skanuk. Well, no one could probably prove that you helped them. There are many theories about what happens. Namely, that it would draw the Frost Maiden's wrath at the loss of one of her sacrifices.
Well, yeah, but like, is there any actual proof that it does anything at all? Are Bryn Shander, Targos, and East Haven any better off than other towns?
In terms of resources, they are the biggest towns, but they generally are, but seems like all of the Dale seems to be better, like worse off for wear. But for the chance of keeping it tolerable and not getting worse, they'll take that risk. At least that's the general that's kind of like the general rumors that you've heard, essentially. What people have told you when you've asked about it.
The thing is that we've interfered enough with Ravissant's BS at this point that if the Frost Maiden itself were to come after us, I feel like that would have already have happened.
Yeah. And really, what's she gotta do? Cast the realm into eternal winter? Again?
Right. That's a good point.
Double winter.
A wind
That's good.
blows past you.
Skanuk invites divine retribution.
Almost disturbingly coincidental, the wind blows past you all, and a bitter, cold wind bites at your flesh.
Well, don't be hasty. We haven't done anything yet.
You say into the wind, "Pipe down, the lot of you," Darga says. But as the lottery, you assume, continues in the background. Give me a moment. The crowd starts to shout out in yellow. As that female voice comes again. By the power invested in me as the speaker, a lot has been chosen. Silence. Tuvesa Naramel, you have been chosen. And you hear just this awful wailing. It cuts down for any of you who have any amount of empathy to the core. This awful wail is one of despair. Pleading, please, no, not me. I have a family. And the general crowd, where there was once murmuring and discontent, there was only silence. The wailing
Are we doing-
continues.
Are we doing something about this?
You're not here.
I'm just saying, we should have our commitment down before we, so that we're ready to act before things go on for too long.
I think I'm doing something about it.
Shh!
I don't.
I guess.
You hear Torga shush you because she looks around. Alright, we're here. She leads you to a very out of the way little hovel, which is very unassuming from the outside. Almost seems to be broken apart in places. She kind of walks up to the door, looks around, gives 2 raps, and then 3 more. A little slit opens in the front. Torga looks up to it, gives a wink. You see a pair of yellow beady eyes peeking out from the slit. And then closes again. And you hear a bunch of locks all open up at once. And then door opens. Very slowly creaking open. Alright, come on. And she leads you inside. Alright, as you head inside, if you do you decide to head inside?
Yes.
I don't know how to say this.
I'm the legs. I decide. Walk through the open door.
Alrighty. Hawk's deciding for everyone else. Alright, as you head inside, from the outside would appear to be a disheveled hovel. From the inside, looks to be a very well-kept little home. Which is... It seems, it is of course weird in itself, but there is in fact a very large trapdoor on the floor in the very center. And you see an individual kind of standing behind the door as you enter inside. The individual is wearing a very heavy black cloak. There are no features that you can determine except pale white skin around the face, as the rest of the face and body are covered in black. The only other thing that you notice from the eyes, which you had seen through the slit in the door, are piercing yellow. The figure stares at you, but says nothing, just seemingly staring at each and every one of you, pointedly.
Are we still in the trench coat?
You're still in the trench coat, yes, but it looks at different sections of the trench coat individually. Strangely enough. Then it kind of looks towards Torga. Torga gives him a nod. The individual closes the door behind you. And then from the cloak, you see these rake-thin fingers just slowly like almost like a spider, just locking each individual lock, sneaking around each one, almost with a deftly skill. And then slowly turns back, goes in front of the door and folds his arms and just stares. Alright, you lot. Down here is what I like to call a little slice of the heavens. A little slice of Celestia. Of course, here you got the main quarters, little lounge here, little refreshments. But down here, you'll find resources and whatever you need. As long as we have it. She kind of like, just opens the trapdoor. Which leads to a very short staircase. You can actually hear the sounds of merriment and joy and laughter beneath. As you kind of take a look down there. What's Mr. Spindley's deal is? Why don't you go ahead... Yeah, go ahead and make an insight check for me. 12. Roll something. Despite the creature's best efforts... Yeah, the nature of the creature becomes slightly apparent to you. As, just for a moment, there is a moment of where you feel there's a slight connection as the eyes turn towards you and stare daggers. The mask around the face slightly slips for a moment. And you see a pointed canine. Just for a moment before the mask slips back over. That's about as much as you can tell.
Alright. Alright.
That's as much as you can tell. Yeah, so you, Decidedly, I haven't mentioned gender, although it does seem to be slightly more masculine, from what little you can tell. It's covered completely, but it is slightly more masculine than feminine. Of course, you can't tell gender completely.
It could be a male hag. We don't know.
Shrug. Anyway, you head downstairs, and they have a package deal down here. Let me tell you, you kind of like feel this strange heat. I was like, huh, like usually like when you're underground, like it's generally warmer, but there's like a full blown forge down here. It's like a full hideout down here. There's a bar, forge, there's like a whole kit and caboodle. Whatever you might be able to think might fit in like this little kind of dingy little basement, it's fitting here.
Interesting.
Yeah. Alright, this is my little base in Brenshander. These are your little fellow company members. Of course, usually there's no need for us to all to go out at once, but sometimes I send my boys out down past the spine, but with everything going on the past 2 weeks, we've just been partying, we've been living it up, waiting for the snowstorms to pass. But for now, rest, drink, eat, be merry, my friends. Welcome to Torga's Trading Company. She gives you a wink and then she walks off. And now you may do what you wish.
Alright, guys, let's initiate the bar fight.
I should switch music at this point because the general feeling has changed a bit. There we go. There we go.
Well,
So, Savage wants to initiate a bar fight. What do the rest of you want to do?
I want to think about what we could potentially do to stop the lottery.
Right. I was thinking the same thing. I don't feel right leaving it the way it is.
Skunnock, go ahead and give me a history check with advantage. 2019. As far as you know, these practices only started when the Dale became enraptured in this never-ending winter. And as soon as kind of like an inkling of the Frost Maiden's interference, these sacrifices had begun, you get the feeling from what people have told you, if this never-ending winter were to end, the sacrifices would stop. That much you know. You get the feeling people do not want these to happen, but you feel like the people feel that they're necessary, and a necessary evil for continued existence in the Dale. People want to live here, and people feel like it would be too much trouble to leave, as it were, especially with how dangerous the Dale can be in the spine to the south.
Just because they're okay with it for now doesn't mean it should continue. I think there's got
could
to be something
probably-
done.
We could probably, like, pick up the person who gets sent off in the night and, just drive them to another town. And pretend they walk, and they can come back when they want to survive.
Do we do that with each of the 10 towns?
Oh,
Right,
no.
there's only 3 of them doing the murders, but
Does it all happen at the same time?
It does, on the night of the new moon, yes.
yeah, we can only get one town at a time. What I'm thinking is, when we're in a town and there's a lottery going on, we do our best to save the person who's involved. That's the most I
Yeah.
think we can do.
Yeah.
You think there's any actual consequence to it?
Probably.
It's probably not as much as the consequence of, pissing off the Ravison lady.
Right. I think it will anger the winter goddess, but I'd rather anger a goddess I don't follow than anger my own goddess.
Right? Smart move.
Decent logic, like, as the DM seeing here.
So how does this sacrifice happen? Are they sending that person out right now, or do we need to wait until nightfall?
Canuck, you're the one that knows more about this kind of stuff. Do you know?
Yeah.
Indeed.
I see.
Time for me to relay what Skanuk knows to you. So Skanuk, as the one who has lived in 10 towns the most, generally, what does he specifically want to know? Just so I'm fully clear.
When the person's put out, I think is what we were asking.
So
And in which direction?
which direction? Okay.
Right.
Per direction. Well, as far as when it happens, generally it happens usually right after they've been chosen. So generally it would have taken some time, probably around maybe half an hour or so. Right now it's only been 10 minutes since you've gotten into this little abode, or base, as it
So
were.
it's occurring currently.
Yeah, so not currently. So, but soon, like really soon, like 20. But probably you assume 20 minutes from now, like really soon.
Okay.
As far as where they would send them, if I look at the map here, there's they would send them either one of two ways. They would either send them to the south gate, probably down into the tundra, or they would send them to the west, which is where you came from. Generally, they would have just sent them anywhere to where the tundra is. So basically, they would try and send them to where there are no towns in the way. So, to basically keep them from finding, places to, hide or...
So if we're gonna do this, we're gonna have to do it. We're gonna have to find them. Find the direction they're going.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's no set
We
way
heard
they
the
send
name
them out.
right.
We could watch them send them out and then
Yeah.
pick them up.
Yes, and I don't believe I put that in chat, but I will. Let me me copy it down. You heard the name was Tuvesa Namela.
Alright, so the plan will be we watch which way they send them out. We pick the person up once they're a good distance from the town, and then we deliver them somewhere else along our way. That makes
Oh,
sense,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
We could give them a nudge some direction with clothes and maybe hope they can, instead of directly delivering them to a place. That might be a little bit harsh, but it might be the best way to.
You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking that we could pick them up, drop them off in Tourmaline, and then maybe try to get the drop on Ravison.
You think we're ready for that?
I don't know.
What's Tourmaline's sacrifice? Are they a heat sacrifice one?
Let me double
Think so.
check that. I believe they are in fact heat. Let me double check. Let's see. Tourmaline. Tourmaline sacrifice. It is in fact warmth for Tourmaline. Yes.
That could do. I think I know of a certain halfling who might be willing to take care of at least some of the needs of an individual in need.
The alternative is to see if we can get from Targos and back in one night, and yes, it's certainly necessary.
I think we were planning on checking out Kelvin's card. Cairn.
That's true. That's in the direction of Tourmaline.
Right. We could go to Tourmaline, see if we can do something about that druid, and then make our way to Kelvin's cairn and see what we
even
can
if-
do about
As
what's
a
going on
reminder,
there.
As a reminder, Tourmaline is where the mine is, where the kobolds are. Lonelywood is where
Yeah.
Right.
is where the
Right, but it's geographically close
Close.
by.
Oh yeah, geographically is oh my god, I can't speak. Geographically, it is close by. Yes.
Even if we can't deal with Ravissant right now, we can at least get rid of whatever kooky concoction she's popped up with this time.
True. Just do a drive-by gunning of her, of whatever she's awakened. Speaking of
Right.
which, would I be able to really quickly find some glass vials for sale?
Absolutely. As complimentary as new members of Torga's Trading Company, that can be provided to you. How many do you want to acquire?
How many could I get with 1 gold and 5 silver?
1 gold and 5 silver. Let me double check and see what the normal price is, and then dial it down a bit.
I would like 1 glass vial full of water.
So normally they're about 1 gold pieces. However, with a little bitty discount. Let's see. How much did you want to offer?
I have 2 gold, 5 silver.
Okay. With 2 gold, 5 silver, they would give you 4 vials.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna mark that down. I'm gonna start. I've got plans for them.
Yes.
Can I give 5 silver for a vial?
5 silver? They give you 1 vial for that. They're kind of they kind of wince a little bit, but as new members, this is more complimentary than anything.
That's bottles. Okay, cool.
Yep, you get that easily. The perks of being in the Torga's Trading Company.
Now to pull some bullshit with alchemy jugs.
Ha 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 ha. Which you do. You do have the alchemy jug now, I believe.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
I am planning on using ceremony on it when the next time I have time for a ritual, but right now I'm not going to do that.
Okay, fair enough. All right. What are Savage? What are you doing right now? What would you like to requisition?
Hmm. Well, hmm. Tell me, how much would it be to silver my longsword?
Hmm. For silvering your longsword, let me see. Normally that is 100 gold pieces. They would be willing to do that for you. Let me double check here.
For a little tenth of what it actually costs?
Yes, I'll say because this is an extension of being new here. They're willing to do it for you for 80 gold instead of 100.
Okay, I'll wait.
I mean, if
I
you
mean,
need,
if you'd like to try and haggle it down, you certainly can. If you'd like to make a persuasion check. If you can make it, you can make an offer. They can make a counter offer. They are a trading company after all.
2 copper pieces.
No persuasion check will give you that, unfortunately. That's a flat out no.
wait, was there like a monetary reward for getting the rum, or is it just
That was just giving you admission being her patron for that
fair enough?
specifically.
Okay,
If you had going to the ship, there was a chance of like getting the gold, but that would of course risk the dragon's breath. It was kind of like a risk reward kind of thing for the ship.
Right.
That was no risk reward. That wasn't enough gold.
yeah. I mean, now that I've got arcane firearm, I can probably just I could magic your sword again
Yeah, that is true.
There is
if you would
also
like that.
there is even though they do kind of laugh you off at the offer, Savage, but they do say they do actually tell you while they would not in a million years do it for that price, they could perhaps find someone who's willing to sell you some silver for half the price if you know someone who can do it for you. Who's proficient
Yes.
in smith's tools.
Yes, that could do it. Or clocks, probably.
That would,
Of
of course,
the,
require checks, but of course, being as part of the guild, any check you make with artisan's tools, and since there is a forge, and using guild resources, you use double your proficiency bonus when you make that check.
Ooh.
Perks, baby!
And I could help with Eldath's blessing.
This is going to be the most wonderfully silvered sword that ever was.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can make it magic.
So yes, while they're not willing to do it for you for any kind of price like that, they can at least maybe requisition some silver for you to purchase. Like for instance, 50 gold.
How much would 5 silvers get me in rations?
For rations, let me double check.
50 gold is still like,
It
I
is
guess,
still
like the
a lot,
wrong
but
order of magnitude.
it is a lot. However, keep in mind that it is half the price of purchasing it, and for labor. So you're getting just the base resource, and then you would have the labor would have to be on your side, essentially. Let's see here.
It's definitely a discount, but it's a lot.
Yeah, so you would get 2 days worth of rations, Meepo, for 5 silver. So normally it's 5 silver for 1 ration, but of course as new members they're willing to give you 2 for that. You hear me, Steven?
I've marked that on my character sheet.
Ah, okay. I just wanted the confirmation that you had.
Sorry, I didn't realize that I didn't say anything.
No, it's okay. I just wanted to double check to make sure that you heard me.
Yes, you're good.
okay.
I'm good. We're all good.
All right.
Everyone's
So
good.
Hawks, anything that you want to requisition?
Hawks is completely broke at the moment, so I don't think he's worrying about picking anything else up. Also, the only thing I really would have gone for is more hand axes at the moment, and I now have javelins, which are just as good. So
Fair enough.
I've got myself covered.
Throw the javelins away if you need them. Use the hand axes when you can recover it.
Yes.
Very good. Very good. Alright, so is there anything else you wish to do before enacting some sort of operation?
No, I think I've done all I can for the time being.
Those 4 bottles for 2 gold or 2.5 or 2.5 golds.
2.5 gold.
Gold. Still quite a discount. Wonderful.
Still quite a discount, of course. As new members, of course. You get a sense that maybe it won't be this generous as usual, but you are new members. Also, this might be part of a quote-unquote reward for being initiated into the guild as well. Which, of course, knowing that you fought a dragon may not be as good as you might want it to be, but there are also perks to being part of the guild.
Thought is a really strong word.
Faced.
To be fair, they didn't know there was...
Faced.
To be fair, Torka didn't know there was going to be a dragon there, but, you know. Yeah, details. Anyway, so...
I think she didn't know.
Anyway, what is your guys' plan now? Tell me what you want to do.
Okay.
I want to go save the lady.
My idea is we watch them send her out, and then we leave the town from another angle and take a long way around and pick her up.
Yeah, we'll be on a sled, so we should be able to catch up.
And then we head up to Tourmaline.
How much does a set of winter clothes cost?
Oh, good question. Let me look that up. Adventuring gear in... Okay, so a set of cold winter clothes costs 10 gold pieces.
Do we have that much among us? Can we get it for 5 gold and split the cost between us?
For being new members of the guild, you may.
Do we have the gold?
Good question. Do you?
Ox is flat broke, so
Right. Meepo's got
Look.
10 silver, which is a gold. So we need...
Well, we could like wrap a blanket around the person, if nothing else.
True.
Indeed. If you don't
I
have,
do have a
anything,
winter-
anything physical that you might want to trade to them, they are a trading company.
Yes. I have the antlers of the female moose,
Okay. That
a Perryton feather pillow,
Periton feathers. That Periton feathers might actually get you some eyes from some of the guild members who want to purchase that from you, actually. Go ahead. Go ahead and make a persuasion check for me to see how high they might be willing to buy it for.
I read his mind discreetly.
Sure. You reading minds is technically discreet in a lot of ways. Technically, yours is more like telepathy than straight mind reading. Go ahead and give me an intelligence check.
I am gonna be great at this.
Never say never. You might surprise
Way
me.
to go, Hawks. Proud of you.
Wait, you mean savage?
That's solid. That's actually
you're
quite
right.
solid.
Sorry,
Okay, 14.
Savage.
That's fine. 14. Okay. In that case, you glean enough of this person's individual quirks and little tidbits about what he might be willing to buy for. So that'll give Meepo advantage on the persuasion check by giving subtle nods and subtle jabs towards Meepo. I assume that's what your intent was?
Yeah.
22.
Right, so we risked life and limb to get this. And I know you really do want it. I can tell just by looking at you, you're real interested in it.
So the individual, I might as well put a
Kept
face.
real clean.
Yes, I might as well put a face to this individual since you're dealing with them, and you might deal with them in the future. Let me hold on. Let me write down something really quickly, if you don't mind. Let me put a face to this individual. Hang on. All right. The individual you see before you is a half-orc who is quite fancifully dressed despite the cold weather. He introduces himself as Groll Fairfang. I will copy that. Well, yes, I do think that it is quite rare. Don't see many patrons around these parts. Oh yeah, no, I would be willing to buy that from you for 20. Actually, no, 40 gold pieces. Since you are saying it is quite dangerous to acquire.
Are you sure 40 is enough? I mean,
Yeah,
I've been
40's
super-
fine. Hold on. Go. Yeah, 40's fine. Yeah, no.
I've kept them clean, and they're already stuffed in this nice pillow, and you can always undo it and access them without having to worry about the pillow if you don't want to. But I took all the fine work on the pillow itself, and you could reuse that pillow for some other type of feather if you really needed to.
Are you trying to haggle for more?
Yeah.
Okay. Make another persuasion check. If Savage, make another intelligence check to see if you can give Meepo advantage on this. Unfortunately, the drunken mind is hard to read as the mind wanders from here to there. 13. I'll give you 45 and not a gold more.
That sounds fair to me. I'm willing to do that trade.
Done deal. Give me that shit. He just kind of like makes little grabby hands towards it.
Sweet dreams.
Good night, punk, as his head hits the table with the pillow on it.
Excellent.
There you go, 45 gold.
All right, 10 of that is going towards winter clothes.
Oh, if you wanted to sell the elk horns as well, I'll just the moose horns. I'll just say that gives you an extra 5.
Extra 5.
Yeah, extra
Okay.
5.
So
So
50 total.
Yeah, 50 total.
And you said it was 10 gold normally for the winter clothes?
10 gold normally. However,
So
with
we're doing
the,
it half, so 5 gold.
yes, it'd be 5 gold.
So that leaves us with 45 gold total to spend, and I will keep that for now.
Okay.
Does anybody need anything drastically that we don't have? That we'd like to get before we leave? Because we can always come back and get it.
When we come back, we should see about getting a shovel.
Right, a
That's
shovel
come up to at least twice at this point.
and
It's
maybe
not that many, but it is weird.
let's just buy a shovel. How
I
much
had
is a
nickel
shovel?
for every time we didn't have a shovel but needed it. I have 2 nickels, which is weird. It's happened twice. Sorry, I had to throw the Doofenshmirtz meme in there.
Gotta get that through this thing.
Anyway, is there any? So now that you have more gold, do you want to do anything before moving forward? Or are you good?
Aside from getting the shovels, no, I'm done. Unless somebody else really needs something. How much is that shovel?
Well, let me take a quick look-see. Shovel would be... let's just say it's 1 gold piece. 2 normally, but 1 gold for you now.
Okay. And I'll give the shovel to Skinnock, who will make great use of it, I'm sure.
Okay, so, as of course it has taken you some time to make these purchases, you now only have 10 minutes to find this individual before they leave, or forcefully sent out.
Let's get looking. I guess follow the screaming.
Indeed, which will be, fortunately for you, quite easy to hear over the winds. So wait, let me find that piece of music that I had before. Yes. As soon as you get back into the cold, brisk air, it almost seems, well, once it was kind of a pleasant kind of day, the wind starts to pick up, and it's several degrees colder than when you entered. You follow the sound of the wailing as it starts to pick up again, this time more focused. And go ahead and make... Everyone go ahead and make perception checks. Since this is based on sound, Savage do not roll this with disadvantage. Ooh, very good.
What's that I smell? Is that the sweet smell of despair on the wind?
Well, yes, in fact. Okay, yeah. With those rolls as a group, the wailing seems to be coming from the northeast. It seems. Actually, so you follow that. Are you trying to be stealthy at all as you're making your way through the town?
I feel like we should try to be, not stealthy, but inconspicuous.
Yeah, nonchalant.
Okay,
Natural.
nonchalant.
I don't think there's a skill for that.
I mean, we're
Yeah,
quite
fuck
big
that.
as a
Natural.
group together in the costume. Go ahead. You can either make a group deception check or a group stealth check. Your choice.
Or group performance, maybe.
Or group performance. Group performance, I'd accept that. That would work too.
I wouldn't do that probably because I'm not good at performance. But let's see.
I have
Stealth,
the exact same modifier for all of those,
performance, and what's the third one?
Oh,
Deceit?
buddy.
Yep,
which
same.
is 0.
Do we?
I've
So
got
do
the
we roll
same
with?
issue.
Yeah. So do we roll with whichever one we want, or do we have to choose one as a
I'd
group?
say we'd probably do it as a group since we're doing it the same
Okay.
Yeah,
body.
it'll be one roll and then just choose
Well-
choose a roll for the group and then roll together.
Okay. So Nook would prefer stealth, but if someone else has a bet, we should if it's better to do something else, then we should do that.
How stealthy
Can
are
I
you? Stealth?
what's your stealth?
I have a +6 to stealth.
I have a +2. Let's do stealth.
Yep.
Right. Stealth it is.
Very good. Very good. Very good. Very good, all of you.
That was swell.
Eldath.
Praise Eldath.
Praise Eldath in your time of need. Man, really, Eldath would
Well,
be-
not our time of need.
Well,
This
time-
lady's time of need.
Time of need.
To mess in Namela's time of need.
indeed, you have rolled both high enough on your perception checks and your inconspicuousness checks to follow the source of the noise and remain. There is still kind of like a crowd, but it is slowly dispersing. So you, even though you're quite tall, you do manage to kind of hunker yourself down in a prostrative kind of pose, almost like you're praying in a way, making your way down through the crowds. And you hear the screaming of this individual, this condemned individual, as they are in fact heading to apparently be a northeastern gate, if I did read that correctly. Because I'm trying to make sure which direction this city is. I believe it is the northwestern gate, or northeastern.
Northeast would be towards Tourmaline, which is great for us.
Indeed.
Idiot.
Alright, so you do in fact see an entourage of heavily armored individuals with thick fur cloaks, all bearing the heraldry of Bryn Shander. A white background, which in the center, a sprig of wheat, and then two stag's horns on the top. As they kind of encircle this individual who currently is naked and shivering from the cold. Their hands are tied behind their back, and they are carried forth, or they're pushed forth, towards the gate, and are pushed forward. You do hear mutterings of, "I'm sorry," coming from some of the guards. But this is how it has to be. And the guards, as they kind of push the individual forward, the individual like actually tries to push back in. He's like, "No, please, please, no, no!" And they shove her backward. She starts crying, and she starts slowly meandering out into the tundra.
How many guards?
There's quite a few. This town, as opposed to the other towns, is probably one of the more fortified. There's around, I'd say, 15 or so what appears to be like regular soldiers, and 10 or so that appear to be some form of elite warrior. They are muscular. They are carrying significantly better crafted weapons. She was followed by a significant force.
That leaves 8 for me and 7 for the rest of you.
Right. I thought we were just gonna circle around and save her, and
Yeah.
not get her in trouble. Cause I'm sure if we draw any attention to this operation, she'll just be either killed right out or sent back out again.
Agreed.
Okay.
We're planning on
Excellent.
fighting the druid later, so save that rage for that.
Personally, I suspect that there's some sort of monster or something eating people if the sacrifice actually does shit. And if it doesn't,
That's true. Could run into one of them cats.
Alright, so you all wait for your opportunity. As the guards slowly walk back towards the center of town.
cool. So I think our plan was to confirm which direction she was going and then circle around with the sled to pick her up.
Right. And Sinar in the bush.
Mm-hmm.
Sinar, the bush, the murder bird, and now a human sacrifice.
It's the weirdest pack of sidekicks.
Essentially. So
Human?
you-
Elf? Wait, what race are we dealing with here?
I didn't actually tell you. Let me tell you. It appears to be a half-elven woman, from what appears to be. Long, kind of auburn hair. Very soft features. Very, like almost kind of rake thin. Clearly not eating very well. Yeah, but it clearly appears to be half-elven. And as the guards make their way back, two, of course, maintain their post at the gate, but the rest of this force makes their way back to the center of town. So, you saw where she went, and now you have to circle back to where your sled is. Which will take some time. So my question is, do you go after her directly? Or do you go to your sled first to pick her up?
I think we got the sled, right? Because we're planning on going straight to Tourmaline once we've got her.
Okay.
Do
Yes.
y'all mind if I go out to her and approach her myself, and just I'll put sanctuary on her myself and wrap her up in a blanket and hold her in one place so you guys can find us?
Sure, that
I'm
makes
just-
sense to me.
I'm just a bit worried. She's
Yeah.
not probably gonna last very long. And if there is something out there eating her, I don't know how close it might be.
Alright.
It's either one thing eating all 3 of them, or 3 things eating each of their respective towns.
Right.
True.
Who is the head here?
That would be me.
Savage.
Okay. Okay then. So Meepo going isn't too bad then.
You would just lose the use of one arm.
Fair
We'll
enough.
just have
Go to the
The-
thing where you have the scrawny arms.
the thinnest shoulders of any giant you've ever seen.
Indeed, it's almost kind of like tilted to one side, kind of like hunching over in a weird direction.
Nuck has like a stick inside, propping up the other shoulder.
I was gonna say, you know those things where you squeeze and it's like a claw at the other end that grabs? I got
Click,
one of
click,
those
click.
sticking.
If you do, if you do this, it will be a possibility of you being more likely to be noticed, and your disguise not being as airtight as it was before. That is something to keep in mind.
No, but I think it makes sense for us to do it this way, to just try and have someone who's good at keeping other people alive take care of us while the rest of us get rallied around to pick them up.
Okay. Very well then.
So when we get to the darkest alley we can find, I'm gonna slip out. As long as we've confirmed that nobody's watching.
All right. At this point, no one is watching you. Keep in mind, there are 2 eyes still on the gate right now by 2 guards. Not the heavily armored ones, but just regular guards. So you do find there is an alleyway that is nearby that will lend itself to you just fine. If you wish to split up there.
Oh, we split the party.
You split the party. All right.
The ultimate sin.
I feel like Meepo could out heal anything that attacks them, though. At this point,
That's a bold thing to say.
I mean, if we were attacked by a white dragon, an ancient white dragon, I would definitely not be able to out heal that.
no. But if we're talking about something like a crag cat or an owl bear or something,
A Venatrace just cannons out of the
True.
sky,
If
screaming
it's one
about
of
her.
those things, I could probably survive a round or 2 until you guys got there. As long as you guys make your ostrich run.
Very good. So, Meepo, you separate from your party. Go ahead and make a stealth check for me as you try and find a way to get past this gate unnoticed. The rest of you, I would like each of you to make stealth checks as you try and remain inconspicuous with this new development in your left shoulder.
8. Oh god, guys.
Okay. Okay. Meepo, I don't think you had advantage on your stealth check.
I was invisible.
Oh, hold on. What did the invisibility come from?
That came from my feet.
Ah, interesting. Okay. So, something the rest of you would notice then. As you separate from Meepo, Meepo suddenly disappears from sight.
I have got to learn that one.
Very good. And because you are invisible, you can hide anywhere, and therefore don't need to worry about... You can just sneak past the guards with that. No problem. Man. I was actually worried for you for a second, because okay, sure, you might roll a high stealth check, but there are still 2 guards who, impossible to stealth unless... Oh, you're invisible. There you go.
Goodbye.
Bye!
See you later.
Bye, Meepo! The rest of you, however, as you try and remain inconspicuous, you actually catch the attention of one of the guards. Excuse me. Sir? Madam?
Who are you calling madam?
Oh, forgive me, sir. I couldn't help but notice that you're looking a little, under the weather. Do you need me to get you a healer? You're looking like you're gonna fall over any second now.
No, I'm fine. You worry about your battle scars, I'll worry about mine.
Alright, I would like you to make a... Let's see here. Make a persuasion check with me. For advantage. With advantage. Oh, 17.
You looking at this missing eye of mine? Are ya? Ah!
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to bother you. I saw you wounded. Like, it's a troubling time. Fine. Deal with it yourself then. See what I care. Our guard just walks away in a huff. You hear him muttering, like, just trying to help out an old lady, a man of seen. Don't teach me a lesson. And fucking, just muttering to himself as he's walking away.
One step backwards for Meepo.
One step. Ha ha ha. Well,
I think it was a different guy.
indeed.
Right, no, what I'm saying is Meepo would be attempting to make it so that people would be more likely to do that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That harms Meepo's goal.
Alright, so, thankfully, despite the interruption, it does cost you a little bit more time, but not too much. As the rest of you make your way back to your sled. And as you all, because it will take a decent amount of time to get back to that gate, because Bryn Shander is a decently sized town, I'm gonna go to you, Meepo, because you are following the individual. So, to follow them, Meepo, thankfully, it has not been too much time since Tuvesa has left the gate. I will still need you to make a survival check. However, but because the tracks would be quite fresh, make a survival check with advantage. 24. Man, good rolls when you need them. I like it. So,
Praise Eldath.
praise Elda. It actually does not take you very much time to reach the individual in question. You hear them rather than see them. You just hear the soft weeping, and you start to follow it. As you're following the tracks, eventually you do see a shivering form that is just currently on their knees, just seemingly overwhelmed by the cold, and they are just shivering. They are shivering. Their whole body is convulsing just from the cold.
Be still, child. I'm here in the name of Eldath.
The woman freezes. Who's there?
I'm going to gently place the warm weather blanket that I have. The winter blanket that I have over her shoulders.
The woman kind of
And
just
then
quickly just
I'm-
grasps it with her thin fingers.
And then I'm going to take out the winter clothes that we bought and place them at her feet. And I'm still invisible. I'm just laying them out so that they turn visible.
So, I'm sorry. I just need to. It's such a horrifying scene, but there's a little bit of levity here. That there's just in the pure face of despairing, there is suddenly confusion and just bewilderment. There's a huge mix of emotions on this woman's face as a blanket and a pair of winter clothes just apparates in front of this woman. She can't see you, and you feel like she might scream if it weren't the fact that her teeth were chattering at mock speed. She drapes herself with the blanket and slowly starts to put the clothes on. While you're there, Meatball, I need you to make a perception check for me, buddy.
It's a giant bird that keeps showing up.
Oh dear. Man, shit, of course I had to roll a fucking natural 20 for this. God damn it. Alright. Okay, well.
Well, while she's putting on the clothes, Meepo would be doing what she said she'd be doing to the others, and I'm going to cast Sanctuary on the lady.
Alright, and at that point, the spell would reveal you, revealing the tiny
Yes.
little form of this wholesome kobold. And first she kind of starts a little bit, but you feel that she's too cold and too tired to say anything at this point. So she just kind of like there's so many different emotions going through her head. She almost doesn't know what to do first. To thank you, to scream. So she settles for the next best thing. She just leans forward, almost exhausted, and just embracing you.
And I hug her back. It'll be all right. I've got some friends coming, and we're gonna take you to Tourmaline.
Thank you. Bless you. Thank you. And then you realize, Meepo, that you're not alone. As the wind picks up, you feel a breath of icy cold. As you open your eyes, in front of you, a massive creature, a white wolf, with glowing blue eyes. As it opens its maw, tendrils of ice and snow billow forward. And then I'm gonna cut back to the rest of you, as you're getting your sled.
Hurry up.
Yeah. This was, I was, as soon as you said you were gonna split the party, I'm like, guys, oh no. I mean, at the one point, it's smart, because like, oh, hey, you won't lose track of her. On the other hand, well, at least now you know that there is something. Well, the rest of you. Yeah, go ahead.
Like, the way that's laid out, obviously this is, metagaming and so on, but the way that's laid out, she absolutely would have gotten eaten before we ever found her. Because...
Maybe.
Yeah.
So, you know
or
what?
died of mold.
Probably, or died of the cold. Probably the best thing, honestly. So, thumbs up.
The only other option was to send 2 of us, but that wasn't going to help either because the saves on getting through the town first of all, and then there's just a bunch going on.
So, for the rest of you, at this point in time, you are just now getting back to your sled and saddling everything up, getting everyone ready. You know that you have to get there fast, and you know this. So I'm going to have you make, whoever wants to, make an animal handling check to see how fast they can push Muerte Blanca. And depending on how high you roll, I'm going to set a determined amount of rounds that Meeple will have to survive before you get there.
Could we maybe...
What were you going to suggest?
I was going to suggest if we could get advantage, but, yeah, we had it. And we rolled this.
Well...
Could we maybe
Is
make
it a group animal handling or an individual animal handling?
It's an individual handling, unfortunately, and Savages were the only one who really knows Muerte's heart. Damn it. Alright. Okay.
Dang it, Morton, run!
Aww! In defiance. She's going at her own pace. So it's gonna take you guys 3 rounds to get there. Shit. Okay. Meepo, I'm going to need you to, well, first, hold on. I gotta remove a lot of things here. I seem to be using this tundra map a lot, but it's really helpful.
Yeah, I mean, there's snow.
It's
okay.
It's snow
We're
and
battling
slightly
in
hilly.
snow.
Yeah, it's not like, one bit of tundra isn't that different from any other bit of tundra.
Right, so I need to move
In general,
people.
there are specific instances where that's not the
You
case.
guys are going to come from that direction down here. So you're not on the battle map yet. So you still have 3 rounds to get here.
I should probably get initiative in, shouldn't I?
What'd you say?
I should probably get initiative in.
Yes, now you can. Now I've changed the map over. And I need
That's
to
good.
switch the camera so that you can see, that the stream can see.
How do you do different characters seeing different maps?
Not easily.
Okay.
The best thing I would do, and I've done this kind of before, is have have the two different maps on the same page in Roll20. That's like the only thing I can do. The only problem is if the maps are too big, then it becomes a little bit difficult for computers who don't have enough like RAM or such to
Right.
be able to load them.
Right,
That's
yeah.
the only kind of difficulty that I've had.
Right.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
kind of my weird solution in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit. Yeah. So, all right. So let me. Okay, so that'll do. So I need to roll.
Is the lady gonna be in the initiative too?
I'm gonna have her go on your turn.
Okay.
You rolled high initiative, so that's also very, very nice.
Yeah.
Um.
I open my eyes, see the thing run.
Maybe
yeah,
you
so
could like.
I need an NPC token. Give me a second. Because on the one hand, I didn't expect you to, but on the other hand, I kind of had a feeling you would, because a lot of you are quite noble.
Yeah. Not the force, but the paragon of.
I need a good commoner stat block. You know what? Actually, you know what? This will do just fine. There we go. That'll do. Let me put that on there. Right about there. There you go.
This is the time where I wish I was a high enough level cleric to have the thing where it's pray and if you roll high enough on the D100 you get a miracle.
Alright, so she there. Oh yeah, the wolf. Thankfully, the winter wolf rolled really low.
Oh wow.
Winter wolf or winter wolf?
Winter woof.
Winter wolf. Sorry.
Oh god.
No.
I'm gonna have to find that video
One.
now.
Yeah, exactly. You know exactly what I was
wolf
talking about.
instead of wolf.
I'll share it in the meme
'cause of their
chat so
accent.
it's not disturbing the actual
Sure.
stream.
As long as
What's
there's
this?
only one.
Yes, as long as there's only one, I should be able to last 2 rounds
All right.
and survive 1 round unconscious.
All right. So,
We
Meepo, it is your and Tuvessa's turn. Tuvessa can go
Tuvessa
before
has-
or after you.
Tavessa has sanctuary on her.
She does.
Let her go first. I told her to run.
Okay. She's going to run. So she is going to go in this direction. She's going to She's basically going to go
Right.
off the map essentially. So she is out of harm's way for now, unless the wolf decides to pursue her. But currently, it sees a tasty little kobold in front of it.
Right. A tasty little kobold who is... What is this?
What you gonna do, buddy?
I might have a way to fix this
Okay.
if it works out.
All right. What you got for me?
Yeah, I'm gonna do this.
How do we got here? Okay.
Oh no! Wait, darn it!
Yeah, that's the only
can't.
problem. It's a humanoid.
Never
I'm
mind.
going to say I'm merciful in that I'm going to let you redact this because you know your spells.
Right.
So
And I caught it before you said anything.
yes, that too. So time
which
your
case,
minds. What do you actually do?
As any sensible kobold would. Cower, grovel, and beg.
That only gives me advantage on attacks, which isn't gonna help stop it from attacking me.
I know.
I think I would do... Let me double check what this is. That is. Okay, I'm gonna do the good ol' Sanctuary Resistance 1-2 punch.
Sanctuary and resistance. Okay.
And then I'm going to move off this way. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
Okay, let me see here.
Back to there.
With an attack or harmful spell. The breath would technically count as a harmful effect, so that would also affect that. Okay. Alright, so. The wolf is going to let out an awful howl to the heavens. It's going to charge you. Now, we'll need to make a wisdom saving throw, thankfully. Honestly, this might be the best way to do it, honestly, just by baiting it out with Sanctuary. It's a pretty smart move, actually. So let's see here.
Oh, I've got to
Wisdom.
get rid of the spell slot for that second use of Sanctuary.
D20 plus 1. 14. So it fails the first save. So it cannot attack you. It is due to the blessing of Eldath and your shield of peaceful intent. It cannot harm you this turn.
There.
You try and calm it down. There, as the billowing snow and ice just bursts from its mouth.
Nice doggy.
Alright,
Good doggy.
I'm not gonna hurt you.
back to you.
Back to me again. Okay.
Beepo 1, Wolf 0.
Final count.
Okay. That's one round of 3.
Dodge action.
Aid.
Aid.
Gain 5 to my maximum hit points.
Let me double check here.
So I'm 29 maximum.
Okay. Good to know.
29. God.
And do I have a bonus action here?
Okay, because it's not a harmful spell, you keep your Sanctuary up.
Right, yep. I'm just going to do aid and then move around over to here.
Alright, you're basically running circles around it, trying to...
Right, I'm running circles around it and trying to give the lady... the lady would also run.
Indeed. She is basically running kind of like southeastern, kind of towards the town, but not quite, because she knows that she can't go back.
Right.
So she's just kind of like running circles in that kind of direction. So that's your turn.
And then I'm gonna
Oh.
shout out to her. You better hide somewhere close, and I'll yell out to you when it's safe.
Okay. She shouts back. All right.
And then
Back to
that's my
Wolf's
turn. Wolf's turn. Wisdom save.
Yeah. Double check. My music might be a bit loud here. Okay, there we go. All right, another wisdom save from the wolf. Another 14.
Oh, there.
You buy yourself another round.
Like I said, I'm not gonna hurt you.
But some friends of mine, they'll fuck you right up.
I'm not gonna tell him that.
Exactly. I love your little count there, Caleb. Round 2, Meepo 2, Wolf 0. All right, Meepo. You're running around the kobold. You're a kobold running around this giant wolf, distracting it, making it angrier and angrier and angrier. What do you do now?
I'm
He's thinking.
looking
This
at
thing
what spells I have,
does.
and what's concentration and what's not.
What'd you say, Caleb?
Winter wolves can speak common too, right?
They can speak Winter Wolf.
They do, but not many of you would know that in character, perhaps.
Well, I know, but it's just like
It might reveal that in a second. We'll see.
they're there, and this wolf is just like, I'm gonna eat
Fuck
you.
you. When the wolf finally gets through the sanctuary, it's gonna say "fuck you" and bite her.
Well, we'll see.
Might as well do this on myself. What's the range? 30 feet? No, there's no way she's in
Yeah,
range.
she's out of range at that point, and she's also gonna make a stealth check because you told her to.
And that's what
That does break your resistance
It breaks my resistance.
because they're both concentration.
Oh, resistance is only for a turn though.
Oh,
Oh, it's a minute.
Oh, so
Eh.
it is. I didn't even know. Look at that.
Then. Oh, I thought it was a turn. Then I'd keep the resistance because resistance is better for this circumstance, I think.
Okay, I will again show
And
mercy
I'd
by
also
saying
keep.
that, of course, you may decide to keep
I'll take the
that.
dodge action. I'll take the dodge action
Dodge action.
Right.
Smart decision.
and maybe move over to here.
Again, running circles around it.
And then that's my turn.
That's your turn. Werewolf stares down at Shimipo and speaks to you in common. I have had enough of your games. It's going to.
Oh, I didn't know you could talk.
You do now. It's going to roll a wisdom save before it can do anything. 5. A burst of cold air whooshes past you, Meepo. You dodge out of the way. As his head turns to the side, unable to affect you directly. And it snarls, "Damn you! By
Right.
Frostbane's will, you will perish!"
I was hoping we could be friends, but you're being rather rude.
Oh god.
So,
It's in 3 turns.
third round.
Save me.
On the horizon. Gandalf,
The
or
cavalry
should I
has
say,
arrived.
Gondor calls for aid. At this point, you all come across that woman you had seen before, hiding behind a rock. Not very well, mind you, because not very well hidden. She also has a point of exhaustion. You all see this woman shivering and cowering. Please help her, please.
Bean, Sinar, stay with her. We go.
Yes, sir. Sure thing. You hear in your mind, Savage. As Savage and Bean just kind of flank her. Hello there. Oh! She's suddenly the talking bush. He's having a hell of a night.
3 kobolds, a mummy, and a talking bush come riding up on a boat sled, being pulled by the angriest axbeak in existence.
Yeah. So at this point, everyone else rolls initiative now. You're an oh my god, I can't talk. You are
Now no longer.
You're part of the tournament now. Oh my god, I can't speak. What is wrong with me? I need water. Where's my water?
Looks like coming at
Save
the dawn
me.
of the third turn.
On the night of the third day, look to the east.
Once again, Meepo is in danger of death. Save her.
Once again, I'm asking for your aid.
Well,
Once again, I am asking for you to extinguish me.
We need your help.
he's made the critical error of standing adjacent to a kobold in Snuck's presence. So,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Who has pack tactics?
Right, so Skunk,
Skunk.
Savage, and...
Both of us do.
Okay, there you are. So, 4th round. Top of the round. Meepo, Zeepo, Molo.
Meepo Molo is going to continue her circle in order to get closer to her allies and to continue to anger the wolf in some way.
Which it does.
Which it does, I'm sure. And I'm going to hold my... Let's see, what do I want to hold? I'm going to hold my action.
Mm-hmm.
To
Savage.
Caleb.
do the emboldening bond once all of my allies are within 30 feet of me. So Skinnock, Hawks and actually no, once Hawks and Savage are within 30 feet of me because I can only do it on 2.
Okay.
Oh no, I can do it on 3 now. So yeah, well, I do it on myself.
Okay.
Well,
So you're
Canucks
waiting.
are not getting closer.
Yeah. So yeah,
So you're waiting for them to get in range then. So you're holding your action.
Savage. Yeah, that's what I'm waiting for.
Okay. Sknakratbiter, what is your will?
Do I want to do a shit ton of fire damage, or do I want to give Hawks an extra D4 every attack?
Well, is this fire damage something that's concentration?
It is Scorching Ray, but they're
Oh.
both second level spells.
Oh, okay, that's the problem.
Just spell slot problem.
Right.
Yeah.
The Scorching Ray might be more consistent damage.
Provided it hits.
Yeah. It would take several turns. Well, I have advantage on it, so it's
Right. True.
okay.
Anyway,
Yeah, I'm gonna
that's
use
just thinking-
Scorching Ray.
Scorching
I'm
Ray.
gonna Scorching Ray and make, I guess, 3 attacks with advantage.
They are with advantage, so go ahead and roll that with advantage because Meepo is next to you. So won't be a 10. That'll instead be.
Okay, so 1 normal attack because that's
That'll be a 19 to
hit.
hit instead, which will hit.
And okay, so that damage. So
Okay.
13 fire.
13, not bad at all. All right.
And then I think that Arcane Firearm doesn't apply to the rest of them because it's per spell thing.
Yeah, I think it is 1 damage. I'm pretty sure it's 1 damage roll per spell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, 21. Wait, that's a fireball?
Oh, that's an open fireball. Sorry. I'll roll that. I'll roll the other thing again. That explains a lot.
Okay, 26 to hit. And 23
Scorching Ray.
that'll hit as well.
So 10 more fire. That's not great.
10 more fire. But
it's something.
not
It's
a bad amount
something.
of damage. Like what's like
So I'm imagining Meepo running circles around this thing for 24 seconds or something. Ah! And then when she sees the sled coming over the hill, she stops, stands there, and just waits. And 3 bolts of fire just launch past her head into the wolf.
Canuck is just like machine gunning fire.
And the sled's just like launching over the hill, like floating as he goes boom, boom, boom.
We'll rip a moment.
Ah,
I love
heck of a night. Alright. So, do you wish to move or do you wish to stay where you are?
I'm currently on the sled.
You are.
I'm gonna stay on the sled.
Stay on the sled. Okay. Savage, it is your turn.
Well, I, having 40-foot move speed, would move right here.
You have to use half of your move speed to
Mm-hmm.
get off the sled.
Yeah.
I like Avatar.
Well, you'd knock him prone, which would still be the same effect.
Fair, okay.
Nice try, though. That's pretty funny. It's a pretty funny suggestion.
So I'll use I'll bonus action rage,
Alright.
and I'll just throw a freaking javelin.
Javelin.
I've got my my tail out again.
Alrighty. You do have a kobold. Oh no, you don't have the pack tactics because of Draconic War, right?
Oh yeah. Yep.
Okay, that 22 will hit though as a separate attack.
Yep.
Okay, roll that damage, baby. 9 points of piercing damage. Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
And then add 2 to that for rage. Wait, no. Never mind. Rage only does melee attacks.
weapons.
Yeah. So
Okay. Okay, that's
Just straight back.
That's still a decent amount of damage. Now the creature is looking slightly bloodied. As the blood starts to pool around it, it starts to freeze over, and it growls and roars in frustration. You would stop the Frost Maiden's will upon my death, and the lack of theirs. You will be cursed.
We've tried to stop the Frost Maiden's will so many times on so many of her other minions that it's not even a surprise anymore if we're cursed again.
This will have more meaning. Rah! As it'll be its turn unless you have anything else.
I'm good.
So it is. I need to roll d6. Okay. It's annoyed by you, Meepo, but actually, no. It's tired of chasing around. It's gonna go for a more viable target.
Someone that could hit.
It's tired. Let's see. Yeah, about 2, 5, down. Yeah, you'll get an attack of opportunity, Meepo, as it leaves your area.
I'm not gonna do that because I've got Sanctuary going.
All right. It curses as it tried to bait you, but of course you are too smart for it. So yeah, it's gonna try and attack.
Also, I've never attacked anything in this campaign so
is-
far, so why should I start now?
I mean, that's true, but I'm thinking, hey, maybe you'll slip. Maybe you'll slip up this once. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry.
Think, Winterwolf, think. Why would Meepo attack?
The invincible meme.
I told him I wasn't going to hurt him. I'm not
I s-
going to.
I assume that's like Savage standing over it.
All right. So yeah, it's gonna try and lunge at you to bite. A 13, I don't believe, hits you.
AC 15.
All right. It lunges at you as you bring your longsword up, and it bites around the sword as you push it off. Yeah, that's all it can do. Hawks, it's your turn.
Well, I have a convenient little situation here where even the half movement for hopping off the sled does not keep me from getting to him with my
Also,
axe.
the moment you come within 30 feet of Meepo, you'd be under my held action, which was Emboldening Bond.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think
FYI.
Get
That is
that card
excellent.
on. There you go.
I think it makes sense to roar again. Use my second roar of the night. I lift my axe over my head and bring it down once
Mm.
and twice.
Both hit.
Chop and chop.
Okay. That is 13 points of slashing damage. Choppity chop. Both go down in a single motion. It is wounded, but it is still carrying on.
And that is everything I can do.
Okie dokily. So, back to you, Meepo.
Right, about that curse thing. Is that the sort of curse that I can just, wave away with my hands?
Just glares at you, not responding.
I mean, I'm sure there's some way of getting rid of it.
No response. Just snarling. It's had enough.
Curses as I tried to bait him out. Anyway,
Did someone curse you into being such an angry flea bag?
I'm going
I reckon
to
someone did.
switch my resistance to bless as my concentration spell this time. Since
Be honest, you were something a bit more impressive than the whole moon situation you got going on here.
I'm gonna bless Hawks, Savage, and myself.
You guys are trying to break me tonight. You're just. I'm trying
I
not
just
to
don't like
laugh
this
so
wolf.
hard. Oh, okay.
And then I'm going to move this way around the wolf, not getting in his range. Actually, there.
Okay, yeah, gotcha.
Never
Yeah, I-
changes.
would have gone like
Yeah, otherwise you would have gotten an attack of opportunity. I gotcha. No, I got you.
there.
It's all good. In that case, Gnak, it is your turn now.
Alright. We've cast one spell. we're already getting advantage pretty consistently, actually.
Yeah.
Right,
It's terrifying.
you've got advantage just from them being next to it.
Yeah. So I
And then
could do
they're gonna be
firebolt
able
or
to
I
give
could
themselves
start.
advantage.
Do I have a good line for Path with Caustic Brew?
If you move like right there, you would be in line for perfect. Without hitting Savage and Hawks, you would be able to do it. If you move right
Okay.
there, to like where the 10 feet is.
Okay. And that would cost, I guess, half my movement because it's probably far enough to be off the sled.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't think I'll need to move much more. And of course, and I assume that Morte Blanca is going to barrel into the melee at any moment. I don't necessarily want to be in that.
Right.
Right. The flurry of beak, blood, and feathers.
Yeah.
How,
Which, by the way,
now
I did not
how-
roll her
This was
initiative,
for-
which shame on me.
Whenever you
And
cast
Sonar
an
and
item,
Bush are out of initiative, I'm assuming, because they're just protecting and responding to
Okay,
attacks.
cool.
Correct. You did order them to guard her, so yes,
Right.
they are in an initiative.
So, Tash was Caustic Brew.
Tasha.
Tash is at DC 15 Dexterity save, and it gets the spell. It gets the Arcane Firearm bonus as well.
Alright, so it's not terribly dexterous, but it does have a +1. Nope. So that is... Yeah, it's 11 points of acid damage.
On its turn.
Oh, on its turn, okay.
Tasha's Caustic Brew is a very weird spell, I've learned.
Yeah.
It's worth it to destroy the enemy's action economy or give them lots of long-term damage over a while.
Indeed. Same for the players. Alright.
Right, same to the players.
Okay, so I'll keep the damage roll when it gets to its turn.
Okay. I guess it takes just a second for the acid to melt into it where it's actually damaging it.
Right, exactly. Alright, so in that case, Skanak. Yeah, I'm assuming you're ending your turn there, Skanak.
Yeah, I don't have any bonus action
Okay, just double
stuff to
checking.
do. I probably should have dropped the cannon down at some point, but
Ah, well,
that's not to be an action.
say that way. Okay, then for Muerte. Muerte dives in for blood. Aw. 20 Hang on, did I increase her? Let me double check if I increased her stat. That should be a +5 for her to hit, not +4, because I increased it. 7.
Does she level up with us?
Not yet. Depends. Let's see here. 7. Yeah, unfortunately, it is not her best day. Unfortunately, though her bloodlust is great, her aim is not so great. As the wolf grabs her by the beak with his mouth and wrestles her to the ground. As she honk 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 in range. Unfortunately, that is her turn. Oh wait, hold on. She gets advantage because she has blood frenzy.
Yeah.
And also
She
the
anger.
roar.
Yeah. And as the wolf wrestles her to the ground, honk, right in the throat.
Oh God.
All right, that'll be. She actually gets decent.
Root punch.
Takes 12 points of slashing damage, a not insignificant amount. as the throat gets slashed open by the axe-like beak. Haha. As the blood starts to pool out, it freezes over, and the wolf starts gasping for air. And that is Muerte's turn.
Hey, let me finish that for you.
Savage!
Are you eating this?
Oh. Oh.
Okay. You know, I think I forgot to roll on the last natural 20 that was rolled against a player, but you know what? I'll roll the lingering injuries that we have slightly forgotten about. Lingering injuries. I think that might be broken ribs. It is in fact broken ribs.
That's a good one.
That seems to
For
be
them
one
to
that's
have.
rolled a lot, funnily enough, for the enemies. It fucks them up. Alright. You slash the longsword right in the stomach, right after Muerte leaves an opening for you. And you hear a solid crunch as the wolf's ribs cave slightly inward. So... let me see here. So it takes that acid damage. And it doesn't
Yep.
even get a chance to react, as the acid sizzles the rest of it, and it falls over dead.
Right. I told you I wasn't gonna hurt you. And I said we could have been friends. But instead, you insisted on pursuing me. And that's what you get.
As the acid sizzles away the flesh of the creature, I would like... Yes. Skanuk, make a charisma saving throw for me. As the wolf suddenly starts to speak in this guttural language which Hawks, you understand because it is in fact in Giant. My frost maidens will, I curse you upon my death. Her servants follow you, a never-ending torment.
No,
I
you.
failed. I got a 7.
I don't understand what she's saying.
No,
He's
you
saying,
don't.
but I just
You don't, but I imagine you say it anyway, just for hilarity's
because
sake.
he said he was gonna curse us, so I just figured I'd sling it back at him, whatever it is.
Right, fair enough.
Oof. Would there be a modifier based on situation at all?
What kind of situation? You're trying to
Yeah,
finagle me?
I don't know. Historical situation.
what you got? What you got for me? What's your reasoning? Hit me with
You
it.
know, secrets. That might make things worse, actually.
Make a persuasion check.
Oh, now I get.
I'm gonna roll something.
Oh, you aren't.
I'm gonna make a secret roll.
Secrecy. Dum da dum. Secrecy. Dum da dum.
Savage. Where instead Skanuk had to make one. As you strike it again, the eyes turn towards you, and I need instead you to make a charisma saving throw for me.
I just need him to die.
And? Okay, with the 12. Okay. You feel very cold, Savage. The biting winds seemed to... It was already terribly cold. But suddenly the winds start to bite and sting even harder. You feel your tail start to almost shrivel up at how cold it is. And you feel something on your back. It's itchy. But other than that, nothing else seems to happen.
Huh. Weird. Must be a weak ass curse.
But you, the individual known as Duvessa stands up. Is it over?
Right. Calm yourself. Breathe. Breathe.
Meanwhile, the whole time, as you kind of like go over there, you just see Sinar just patting her on the head, just ha 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 ha.
Alright, breathe with Sinar. Breathe with. Is Sinar breathing? Anyway, breathe with
No,
Sinar.
no, not really. It's more like the wind is just passing through the
Right.
body than breathing. It's very strange.
Calm down. Calm down.
Eventually, she
Let's get
does calm down.
let's get you on that sled. We're gonna make our way on up to Tourmaline and drop you off there. And then we're going to go deal with something else, and we'll leave you with some friends of ours. Try to make sure you're safe. And
How can I be safe? I've been marked as the sacrifice. How can I be safe?
how were you marked?
Not physically. But I was meant to be a sacrifice for the Frost Maiden. You saw
Right,
it
does she
yourself.
know
She
that?
sent an agent, a beast, to
Well.
kill me.
She
What's
sent a
this?
beast out and we killed it.
But what if more come?
Right. Were you marked in any way specifically?
She kind of looks at her body. No, they didn't. They just stripped me bare.
They sent you out, right?
Yes.
And if you're not out here, then how's she gonna know?
Yeah.
Make a persuasion check.
You're not wandering naked through the wilderness anymore. You're with a group of people.
Sure, make a persuasion check with
Honestly,
advantage.
this thing's probably just waiting to pop anyone who comes out at the right time.
That's
It's
what I
not.
was gonna say.
Yeah.
Persuasion with advantage, you said?
With advantage. 22. Eventually, she kind of just nods. All right.
Anyway, nobody's really safe right now. We're trying to fix that. But we'll get you to the safest place we got.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I'll never be able to repay your kindness. Thank you. Thank you so much. I don't have much, but
No, don't give me anything. Just relax. Get some sleep. You look exhausted.
and with that, she just as the adrenaline kind of like just slowly peers out of her system, she does in fact fall over.
What? Savage, you want to put her in the sled?
Yeah, sure. Sonar.
Sorry, my
Yeah, put her in the sled,
got
please.
knocked out. My headphones are back in. What'd you say? I'm sorry.
Sonar, you want to put her in the sled, please?
Ah, he gives a slight nod. Kind of picks her up very gently, like kind of like almost bridal style, and just kind of sets her on the sled and puts a blanket over her.
I'm going to pick a berry off of the bush and give it to her and kind of help her chew even though she's unconscious.
Okay, so you kind of not quite mama birded a little bit by trying to like.
Well, I'm putting it in her mouth and using her teeth.
No, I know,
to
and that's
chew
why
up.
I said not quite
Yeah.
mama birdie. You kind of like
Yeah.
forcefully like use your hand to like massage her lower jaw
Yeah.
to kind of chew it a little bit. And she does swallow it, and she does. It doesn't heal the exhaustion automatically, but
Right. But I don't know if she's eaten. She looks like she hasn't recently.
yeah, she does look a little bit better after the berry, so it will definitely help her a lot, for sure. So you make your way to Tourmaline, and
If it's all right, I'd like to get a little bit of sleep. I think I have a plan, and I need to rest and change up some of my spells. Could you guys let me sleep on the way there?
I
Of
guess.
course.
all right.
I'm planning on changing my 3rd level spell to remove curse, just in case.
Okay.
Very good.
It's worth a shot.
worth a shot. As you all travel. No.
Anyway, having the curse on somebody for now might help us, because that'll help us draw what's her name over to us so we can beat her up.
Well, as you travel along to Tourmaline as fast as you can via the sled, but just gentle enough so not to wake your little friend. You all disappear into the night. And as you do, unbeknownst to you, a figure in the cold slowly follows after you. If only
Ah,
for a
shit, we
moment.
left an hour.
If only.
Slowly.
Oh, it's like just a slow mummy just running behind you.
Had to get one more in.
Fair enough. Follows you only for a moment. A figure owl-like in nature. Curled ram horns around the head, and red,
Ow.
glowing eyes. Following behind if only for a moment before disappearing into snow and ice and disappears in the wind. And that's where I'm going to end tonight's session.
Would I be able to get the long rest while we're traveling?
The travel there, you would. However, everyone else would probably take a point of exhaustion by pushing it through the night.
Is that all right with you guys?
Yeah.
Wouldn't the group be able to switch off who's driving and let the other people sleep and just do it with the
I
benefit
mean,
of
now that I'm thinking about it, if you're on the sled, you wouldn't. It's not really. It's not really.
It might
good
not be
for a long
restful,
rest.
but it wouldn't be like.
We could just have one person designated driving so that they can get us there. They can push through the night and everybody else sleep.
I think his point
You
is
really shouldn't be able to get a long rest when you're traveling, is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
Oh, right.
I'm now just remembering that's kind of, yeah.
That's true.
How about we? How about we like? We take shifts and hopefully like avoid exhaustion, but then we don't get the rest until we get to town and we like bunker down a little while.
I'd allow that.
Okay. Would
Okay.
we be able to get the long rest then? That's the ultimate question.
After you would have to bunker down in town first, and then
Right.
get it maybe because it would be slightly interrupted. You would have to get a couple more hours in to fully complete it.
Okay.
But yes, you would be able to after a couple of hours after reaching the town and sleep and getting a nice rest in after that.
Okay. How much for an inn for 1, 2, 3 humanoids?
Oh, for Tourmaline, you would get a nice little discount because you are considered heroes of Tourmaline because of dealing with the mine
And
issue.
who's the head in Tourmaline? Let's find out. I think it's
That's Mr. Oris
It's a gnome, isn't
Matthew. No, it's for Tourmaline. It's actually a half orc.
no. I'm talking about the head.
I don't
Of the
think it matters
stack.
at this point because the kobolds are out in the open there.
True.
Yeah, actually. So wait, what do you mean by
Yeah.
the head then, Steven?
Of
It
the
was
stack.
Nepo. Nepo was the staff.
I was the head of the stack. I
Oh, the
was trying
stack,
to disguise
gotcha.
myself, and I messed up. And then I ended up being the head of the stack anyway, just to me myself.
Right. Keep
So-
in mind though, you would only be heroes as your persona, not your kobold selves.
No, but I mean, bear in mind as well that the
But we get the discount, and we don't have to pay for as many people if we go in as one.
Also, if you're in the cave, you don't have to spend any money.
True. We could just go to the kobold mine.
Well, if it hasn't been reworked yet, I should have thought of that actually. If it's like turned back into a mine.
Been a few days, so maybe it has.
I
Yeah,
mean,
let's go back into town.
We'll work it out next session.
Sure.
Yeah.
As for now, though, I think it's time to end the stream. So for those of you who have been
All
watching,
right.
thank you so much. I really appreciate it, as do all of us. And I hope you've been having fun watching along. But until then, I'll see you hopefully next week. But until then,
Bye.
bye.
Praise Eldath.
Praise El.